Give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yah by way of Yahusha HaMashiach. John 5:39. What to do? What we gonna do? Real, my nigga.
All right. Search the scriptures for enemy, think ye have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And ye will not come to me that ye might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that ye have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Father's name, and ye receive me not.
Receive me
Another
not.
shall come in his own name, him ye will receive.
Go ahead.
How can ye believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that cometh from Elohim only?
Go ahead.
Do not think that I come to accuse you to the Father. There is one that accuses you, even Moses, in whom ye trust.
Go ahead.
For if you had believed in Moses,
What up?
you would have believed in me,
Uh-huh.
because he wrote of me.
Yes, sir.
But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words?
That's the people's problem is. They don't believe what's written down, so they definitely not gonna believe this man when he go to talking. I seen a gentleman this afternoon. He asked a man a question about Mashiach. Before we proceed any further, this is the point of what I'm talking about. He said, can you show me in the Torah where Moses said turn the other cheek? Nigga was stuck. He say, you know, he say Christ said that if you lust after a woman in your heart, you commit adultery. Moses said that if you sleep with another man's wife, you commit adultery. So where did the Messiah get that from? Nigga stuck, talking in circles. You know what I'm saying? Nigga don't even know the answer to. This is an example of what I be talking about. Like, you put yourself out there and say, I'm sent, I'm a teacher. Nigga ask you the most basic question in the world, you can't even answer it. You know what I'm saying? So then now you talking in circles, talking out your butthole, and it's all it does is it causes an audience of people to not discredit you as a teacher, but to discredit this. See, that's what dudes don't realize. They're not going to discredit you. They're not going to toss you in the garbage can. They're going to toss this in the garbage can. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. So when you put yourself out there like that, you have. Matter of fact, since I said that, give me 1 Timothy chapter 3 and pick me up at about verse 3. Because look here, man, I feel just like how Moses felt when Yahusha son of Nun came in there. He said they prophesying outside the camp. He said, what you envying for my sake? I hope that y'all make all the people prophets. Why would I want a nigga to stay up under me? I don't care nothing about that, but you better make sure you know what you talk. If I know you don't know what you talking about, then I'm not co-signing that. Do you know what I'm saying? And if I know you sour, I'm not co-signing that. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not co-signing that, because I know y'all ain't got nothing to do with no sucker nigga or no wicked nigga. You know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't got no problem co-signing a nigga as long as a nigga agree with them. You see that in all these camps around here. And I did see them boys do have that spot, man. When that niggas had that address, them boys hadn't renovated that yet. When I had went around there, they hadn't renovated it yet. Them boys around there though. Because I had to shoot by there the other day. And they definitely got the logo on the door. Probably around there right now. Go ahead. No, I don't. I'm good. I don't respect no nigga say, I'm going to get with you, bro, and walk right out the door. Sucker. You know what I'm saying? Ain't even man of your word. Ain't even man of your word. Them niggas was in that deep. What camp you with, brother? Just clown behind out here, nigga. Go ahead, man. Niggas is clowns.
1 Timothy chapter 3.
Let's get it.
Talk.
3, just give me 3. I mean, you might as well. I'm just trying to really hit.
This is a true saying. If a man desires the office of a bishop, he desires a good work.
Yep.
A bishop then must be blameless.
Yes, sir.
The husband of one wife.
We ain't want all that. Come on. No, I'm saying. Go ahead.
Sober. Of good behavior.
What up?
Given to hospitality.
What up?
And apt to teach.
Apt to what?
Apt to teach.
Let's see what that means to be apt. In English, what does the apt to teach mean?
Able.
You got to be able to do it. Definitely got to be able to do it. A lot of these niggas ain't able to do nothing. Let's see what it means in Greek. That word in Greek means skillful in teaching. So to be skillful, I mean, you got to be nice with it. So you know 99.9% of these niggas are already disqualified. Go ahead.
Not given to wine, no striker, nor greedy or filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, nor covetous. One that ruleth well over his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how should he take care of the assembly of Elohim? Not a novice, lest being lifted up with
not
pride.
A what?
A novice.
Not a what?
A novice. Unless being lifted up with pride, he fall into condemnation of the adversary.
Y'all know what a novice is, right?
Little baby.
In Greek, that's a neophyte.
Little baby.
You're a rookie. You always hear neophyte when you talk about people joining Greek organizations or secret societies and things like that. They say he's a neophyte. So you can't be no rookie to the word and think, because the next thing it tell you about a deacon, it say a deacon has to be proved. So to prove somebody, you have to be tested and examined that you even qualified to do that. So if you put a nigga under examination or test, their skill level has to be tested too. According to what we just read, correct? Now, this is actually tying into what we had to talk about this afternoon, whether you were understanding or not. Because it goes back to what we were talking about last night. You know what I'm saying? Because Mashiach is that preacher. See, go and get him Ecclesiastes 12 and 11, man. See, these niggas ain't even being proved. And if you being proved, then who is testing and examining you to make sure your skill is on point? Because if you teach the word, this man say you got to be skillful. Now, you should remember that with Ezra. Ezra was a learned man or a ready scribe. I mean, he was a skilled scribe in the text. I mean, you have to know what you're talking about. If you don't know what you're talking about, then you would, and the reason why I say this goes back to what we were talking about. Remember how we mentioned the cot, right? It's the head separating you from the snake. Did anybody remember the first thing that we looked at that Yah had to separate us from the snake from? Yeah. That is one of them. But the first thing that we looked at was what? Pride. Because the first thing of the snake is pride. Remember how we looked in Job 33 and he said that he's pulled man from his purpose to separate him from pride so he don't go in the pit. Because what did it say about it? Not being a novice lest he be lifted up in pride and be found in what? In condemnation of the devil. Because the devil can condemn you at this point because you are guilty of pride. You're guilty of his favorite attribute. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at that. So at that point, your sins have not been cast behind you who is back because you lifted up in pride because you don't really know what you're talking about. See, niggas overlook that. And then if individuals actually had the opportunity to have somebody to get their skill level up, their pride won't allow them to do it because niggas already feel like I've already made it. You see that with a lot of people in business. They can have business mentors and people around them, even basketball players or athletes, I should say, for that instance. There's somebody who can help you get to where you want to get at, but you feel like you already have the skill level and knowledge to do it, so you shun it. And that's how niggas end up out the league in 3 years. Or their businesses fail. You know what I'm saying? Because that's your pride. One thing for certain, two things for sure, man. There is no shame at all from having somebody take you up under their wing and schooling you. Ain't no shame. I wasn't taught that as a youth. That, you know what I'm saying? We were taught, you know what I'm saying? Just like, I'm trying to tell them, like, most of these niggas, they ain't got no big homies, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, most dudes, you got a big homie tell you, like, they telling you from experience, bro, don't do it like that. They telling you don't do it like that because they done already did it. So they're trying to give you some game. But niggas look at it as you hating on them or you downing them. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I'm trying to give you some game, nigga. Nigga, if I got 10, 15 years on you, nigga, then my duty having 10, 15 years on you is to what? Give you some game. Because where you going, I done already been there. Made some mistakes, had some successes. I can tell you what to do and what not to do. What you choose to do with it is your choice. But niggas don't want nobody to give them no game because these niggas are squares. You know what I'm saying? But you see how that tied to that cot, though? It tied right to it. That's what we came in for. It tied right to it. If you are not skillful, you don't qualify. So if a nigga tell me I don't know nothing about the word, and then he asks, can he preach? I will smoke a $50 rock before I let you do that. Because at that point, that's what I need to go do. I need to go find a dope man. Let me get a 50. Find the coke man. Let me get another 50. Then find the weed man and put the coke in the crack on the weed and smoke it. Because clearly I done lost my mind. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody finna walk up to no aeronautical engineer and say, I don't know what I'm talking about, and this man gonna let you work on the airplanes. You know what I'm saying? I won't say that there because we do have a man at this present time who clearly is not qualified to run a country. He's qualified to run a business, and that's loosely agreeable in and of itself. You know what I'm saying? But you have to have some manner of qualifications to. You're not gonna come to somebody's company and they the CEO of the company and you say, I don't know how to run no company. Let me run yours. And they gonna let you. Sure, man. We're all alike. Absolutely not. You're gonna run it in the ground. And guess who they gonna blame? They're not gonna blame the nigga who ran it in the ground. They're gonna blame the nigga who authorized the stupid nigga to run it in the ground. Because they're gonna look at you. You're supposed to have more wisdom and sense to even agree to that. And that's why Yahuwah don't send and stamp everybody, because he got enough sense to know this is why the man say that a steward must be found faithful. The first day before you can preach the words, you got to be found faithful enough to trust y'all and obey him. You can't go preach this man word and you ain't even trustworthy to obey it. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, where they do that at? How many wicked prophets you see that were actually sent from y'all? Not a nigga who just got up on his own. No, cool, we know they were wicked priests, but we know why they were wicked, because they were worrying about pleasing the people. See, that's what nigga problem coming at. They worrying about appeasing the people. I don't care nothing about damn person in here feelings when it comes to this word. I don't care if you're mad, you grit your teeth, stamp your feet. That don't mean absolutely nothing to me. So I told him, like, you can dip. You ain't got but one or two options. You can assimilate or you can dip. You know what brother say, man? Brother be kicking him up, throwing him under the bus, talking trash about him. Shoot. Ain't that person finna come in here and say, I don't like him, he too young. See, y'all young, so you wouldn't have that issue. But imagine if it was 30, 40-year-old people in here. Got kids his age. Some of them will probably be offended. You know what I'm saying? You think I'm going to let them throw him under the bus and talk trash about him? Absolutely not. If you don't like it, you can go. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because if he ain't teaching nothing wrong, he ain't said nothing wrong, then what is the problem? He too young. He ain't. I don't care what he was. I wouldn't care if he was 7.5 years old. Nigga, you gonna take this word or you can dip. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because your feelings mean absolutely nothing to me. If it's right, what difference does it make if he was 5 years old or 55 years old? You know what I'm saying? Don't matter. Go ahead, man. This nigga want to get him some diuretics in his system. No, there's no time for eating. Say you can't eat in the inner sanctum, cuz.
Please, yes.
I'm just playing. 12 and 12. 12 and 11, actually. Make it 12 and 9.
The words of the wise are as gold.
Well, make it 8 then.
Vanity of vanity, said the preacher, all is vanity. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs.
So if he gave good heed, that means he listened, would show you how a steward got to be found faithful, because he listens. Then he said he set in order many proverbs. What is a proverb? Because I'm telling y'all this because I had a conversation with a brother the other night, and of course it was new to him. You know what I'm saying? So I understood. So hopefully he get back with me and I go through it a little deeper than I had, because I didn't have the time to do it right there. So when he said he set in order many proverbs, what is he talking about? What does the book tell you about dark sayings in the book of Proverbs? Does anybody know that offhand? Let's look at Proverbs 1 and 1. Because who remembers in Daniel what it said that that man, that reprobate man, what he would have the ability to do?
Understand dark sentences. He
would have the ability to understand dark sentences. A parable is a dark. Remember, he said that the preacher said in order many what? Proverbs. So he said in order many dark sayings. Remember that Mashiach said he spoke in parables from the foundation of the world, as quoted in Psalm 78. So let's look at Proverbs 1 and 1.
It said the proverb of Solomon, son of David, king of Yahusha, to know wisdom and instruction and perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment and equity, to give subtlety to the simple. So
guess what? If you can understand a dark saying, it can give skill to somebody who's simple. Because remember, we dealt with that before, giving subtlety to the simple. Go ahead.
And to the young man knowledge and discretion.
Go ahead.
A wise man will hear and will increase in learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. So that's the first mistake. A lot of niggas get counseled out at. Because if you a wise man, then you're going to seek, if you're an understanding man, you're going to seek counsel from wise people and not sinners and idiots. You know what I'm saying? That's see the book be killing a lot of niggas because you not following it. Niggas do just what the book say in Isaiah 30. They finding somebody who's going to agree with them. You know what I'm saying? If you seeking wise counsel, then you don't care if it's going to prick your flesh or if it's not necessarily what you want to hear, because you're seeking wisdom in a recommended course of action.
So when you're an idiot, you're going to stray away from wise counsel, which means you hate Yah. Period. You know what I'm saying? No ifs, ands, buts about it. Go ahead.
It says to understand a proverb.
To under what?
Understand a proverb.
What has to happen?
And the interpretation.
And the what?
The interpretation.
So a proverb actually has an interpretation to it. See, hold on. Let's see what the word for interpretation is. You know how many people overlook all of that there, but it's right there plain as day, but we overlook it, don't we? We don't really focus in on it because the nigga just think a proverb is a wise saying. If there's an interpretation of that proverb, that means there's a mystery contained in it. When we look at interpretation, the word is meltzah, and it's satire, a taunting figure, an enigma, a mocking poem, or a mocking song. That's what that word means. Go ahead.
The words of the wise and their dark sayings.
And their what?
Dark sayings.
And what up?
The fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despite wisdom and instruction.
So the preacher has to be able to do what? He set in order many proverbs. And you see how even with that, you go back to Ecclesiastes, you can see even in that statement, how it talks about, we know the word for preacher is koalef, and he's an arranger of sentences, that even in the context of the verse, it's telling you what a preacher does. He has to have skill. If you're going to preach the words, you have to have skill. It's only two people who can impart skill unto you. Either Elohim himself or another man who has had skill imparted unto him. Because we know that because Paul taught Titus. Paul taught Timothy. It tells you in Acts they ordained pastors in every synagogue in the land. They sat down and taught these men. The men ain't sit back and say, you can't teach me nothing, nigga. I know the word. They say, shoot, come on around here, man, so we can get this work on the street. See, there's always been pride amongst our people. Of course, I can't say because clearly I wasn't alive in any of those dispensation of times. But in my personal opinion, I think the level of pride amongst our people is at an all-time high. Do you know what I'm saying? When it comes to the word, because niggas feel like they done made it. They feel like they know it. They feel like can't nobody tell you nothing. And even though as wicked as our ancestors were, they did understand to do, even as wicked as they were setting up base men to be priests. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even say, I'm going to make me a priest. They still went and found people and made them priests to teach them. Anybody know what story that's in? Well, what book that's in? It is something similar, but the actual term used in base men was in the book of Judges. Judges. They went up and set the basest men they can find and made them priests. You know what I'm saying? Our people still understood that there's an order. Somebody has to teach somebody. And, yeah, I'll do it. I'll get somebody to do it. I'll pay somebody to do it. You know what I'm saying? I would love everybody. He sent everybody to preach. But if everybody preaching the word, what's left for then I mean other things will be undone. Do you know what I'm saying? We know why everybody want to preach the word. They want to be seen or get them some butt. Because, you know, nigga use that word for some sex all the time. All the time. And some money. And some money. I think those two go hand in hand. Which one you think they get the most? Sex or money? Eli's sons were getting both. You know what I'm talking about? Eli's sons was getting both. Behind closed doors. Eli's sons was at the tabernacle door getting off.
Hey, Sister Shirley. Let me get that sacrifice. Come on back here.
Come on back here. I got a devotional for you.
Let me bust that sacrifice down for you, baby.
I got a husband and I got a wife. And he was talking about her. Eli's sons was at the tabernacle door with it. You know how wicked you got to be? They had a tabernacle door with it.
That's how they did it.
Shoot, that's how they be at the temple, at the camp. You know how they doing it different at the camp and at the temple? Sister wives. That's how they doing it now. Get all the women. We got a nation bill, baby. Go get you some money, my nigga. Go ahead, man.
We have verse 10. Ecclesiastes 12. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth.
Mm-hmm.
The words of the wise are as gold,
Uh-huh.
and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies.
Their nails is fastened to who?
As fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd.
What's a master?
Overseer.
So you got to, he said there's overseers over assemblies, and that they were given the word from one shepherd. Did it not? They know what it said. Didn't we just read last night in Acts chapter 20, he said, all you who he made overseers over all the synagogues of Elohim. This stuff is right here. I don't know what these niggas be talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's right there. Did we? Now we just established that there's an order that are people over another group of people, or did we not? But let's read it in another place, in Hebrews 13 and 15, just on general principle. And then we'll just slide on to like this here though. But all that coming in from, but you got to be skilled to preach the word, man. Tell a nigga don't eat pork and keep the Sabbath ain't no skill, my nigga. Just keep it real. That ain't no skill, bro. You ain't told a nigga nothing. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. I read at 16 don't eat no pork, nigga. I ain't had nobody say don't do that. I read it. I seen it right here. I say, Mom, why does this book say you ain't supposed to do that? Only Muslims don't eat pork. That ain't what they say. I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point in my lifetime, that's what I thought. Only Muslims didn't eat pork. I ain't know what was contained in this book. I look at this book. This book say you ain't supposed to eat that. Why ain't nobody told me this? Why ain't nobody telling nobody this? Come to find out, niggas knew it. They didn't care. I knew about the Sabbath at 20 years old, 21 years old. Nobody said, you got to keep the 7-day Sabbath. I opened this book up one day. I seen it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take no, does it really take skill to tell somebody not to eat shrimp? How much skill does it take to tell a man don't sleep with another man's wife? How much skill you need in the book to show somebody that? How much skill you need to tell a nigga not to steal? That's not yours, don't touch it. What's hard about that? Go ahead, man. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Shoot, let some nigga tell it now. Guess what I tell him? Go eat a big bowl of dog doo-doo and die. That's gonna be your butt.
Hebrews 13
and 15. Gonna be your butt.
By him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to Elohim continually. That is, the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name. But to do good and to communicate, forget not.
Don't forget it.
For with such sacrifice, Elohim is pleased.
Pleased.
Obey them that have the rule
Do what?
over you. Obey them that have the rule over you. And submit yourselves, for they watch for your soul.
They do what?
They watch for your soul.
They do what?
Watch for your soul.
And what else does it say?
And they that give must give account.
They got to do what?
Give account.
So they got to give. So not only do they have to give account for the life that they live, they got to give account for the word that they preached and their service to the people. They got to give account for that too. Go ahead.
That they may do it with joy, not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you.
So there ain't gonna be no gain if they sadden while they doing it, or if it turns that they feel like this. Because guess what? Dealing with the people ended up being a heavy burden for Moses. And what happened? He couldn't come into the land. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they were grieving. Because does not the law say they were grieving this man? They were grieving him. It became heavy for him. So that it ended up not being gain for the people. Niggas don't understand that because niggas want to do it to be. And then niggas don't even be knowing the book. Like, how you going to teach somebody something you don't even know yourself? You can't do it. We had that conversation already. I'm going to listen to a nigga who trained in education but don't have real life application. Nigga, you've never done it. It's nothing like getting in the field and doing it yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't really learn to preach the word until you start doing it. But you got to have somebody to guide you in the process of getting you there. When I'm talking about preaching it, I'm talking about actually standing in front of people and learning what works for you to impart the information. You know what I'm saying? Because you could teach a nigga, I could train you up. It's a lot of athletes, a lot of quarterbacks get trained up. But when they get on that field, it's totally different than when they were sitting in that film room. You know what I'm saying? When them live pass rushers go to coming and that pocket go to collapsing, nigga go to playing like Blaine Gabbert. Scared. Y'all remember when Blaine Gabbert played? That cracker was scary in that pocket, man. He got hit a couple times. He didn't know how to take the adversity. You get a lot of people, you put them in live action situations, they can't handle it. There's a lot of people, man, they read this book. They feel like I'm going to be ready to endure whatever. And then it came and they folded. Why did you fold? What would the cause of that? Nevertheless, man, we good in that? I think the point has been shown. Exodus 33 and 19. I didn't want you to see that there, man. If you're going to preach, you just got to be skilled. Shoot, I pray y'all give anybody the skill to do it. Just know what you're getting yourself into. Because it's definitely not peaches and cream. Because as the master said, to whom much is given, much is required. Go ahead, man.
And he said, I will make all thy goodness pass before thee, and I will proclaim the name of Yahuwah before thee. And I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will show mercy on whom I will show mercy.
Let's go to Romans 9 and 5. Everything we finna look at today, y'all willing, is coming from that. He gonna be gracious to whom he want to be gracious to, and he will show mercy to whom he want to show mercy to. Make that 9 and 7.
Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
Yep.
That is, they which are children of the flesh, these are not the children of Elohim.
They are not the what?
Children of Elohim.
You show not.
The children of the promise are counted for the seed.
They counted for the what?
The seed.
What up?
For this is the word of the promise. At this time I will come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac.
Pause. I want to ask y'all a question. Was Jacob a child of the promise, or was he a child of the flesh? How was he a child of the promise? Based off of what? Yeah, that's what I was angling for specifically. He's a child of the promise because what was the specific promise? So the elder will serve the younger. So that means Esau was a child of the flesh because no promise was attached to him. So the reason I'm looking at that because he said, I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious to. Or Canaan, or the separated seed. That's the reason why I asked that. That was the point of that. Go ahead. Well, you ain't even been there a good 20 minutes. Already crowned.
It says, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Elohim according to the election might stand.
The purpose of Elohim according to what?
The election might stand. Not of works.
Not of what?
Not of works.
But of what?
But of him that calleth.
But of him that what?
That calleth.
Go ahead.
It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob I have loved, but Esau I have hated.
Pause. Anybody know what Jacob I love and Esau I have hated is located at? Why that junk ain't got Malachi on here right now? I had just said it. You didn't hear me. Hey, pull yours up for Malachi, man. My book likes to cut. My app likes to cut Malachi off sometimes. I just want to see if love is kashak in that particular verse. Oh, matter of fact, I can actually do that myself.
It was in Malachi?
Yeah, it was in Malachi. I actually said it out loud. You just didn't hear me.
Get away. Is it 2?
No, it's in the first chapter. It's immediate. It is immediate. He let that be known immediately. I don't love that nigga. No, that's not the word for that.
It's a hard.
Okay, no, I just wanted to see. So when we look, because you know, kashak is used in certain places, so I had to see what was used in that verse before I made my point. So we know that there it say you got to behold the house. This is what he told Jacob. Can we look at Jacob beholding the house? If he said, Jacob I have loved and Esau I have hated, can we read what Jacob behold the house? Did Jacob ever behold the house of Elohim?
He slept, he seen a vision. He got the stair, the ladder.
Yeah. Genesis 28 and 18. Grab that for me, sir. Genesis 28 and 18. Because he said he loved Jacob. Did he ever show Esau the house of Elohim?
With that word hated, would it be like the same like choose? Like when the master said hate your father?
That one was 4.
That was
Huh?
That word.
Is what?
Fourth enemy.
Yeah, I don't fool with you. Say you're an enemy. You already know what make you an enemy of Elohim. What make you his enemy? Not even just that. You a sinner. Because he said, I'll pay all my enemies back to their face. So we know that Esau was an enemy of Elohim because he despised the birthright and he was a sinner. He didn't even obey his parents. When he got him old Canaanite woman. You know what I'm saying? He liked the old, I ain't gonna say that. That's inappropriate. To say that. You ain't gonna call him an African booty scratcher. That's what he wanted though. Go ahead. And 18.
It said, and Jacob rose early in the morning and took the stone where he had put for his pillows and set it for a pillar and poured oil on the top of it. And he called that place Bethel, but the name of the city was called Luz at first. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if Elohim will be with me and will keep me in the way.
I missed the verse like this here, right? He called the place the house of Elohim. Give me about verse 14, see what he said.
He said, and thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And then in thee, and in thy seed shall all families of the earth be blessed.
What up?
And behold, I am with thee, and I will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and I will bring thee again to this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken of thee.
Go ahead.
And Jacob awakened out of his sleep and said, surely who was in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other than the house of Elohim.
This is the house. So he did exactly what ahab means. He showed him the house. He saw it. But remember, how did he see it, right? He's seeing the Malachim ascending and descending. So he saw the testimony of the suffering of Elohim. Remember, we looked at in Isaiah 38 last night. It said, by these things do I live. So you live by the suffering of one man. See, that's another thing that dudes don't like to deal with in skirt. See, let me tell you something, right? Because we already had a conversation, but I don't really care. Nigga love to scream love, 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 but the love of Elohim means you're going to have to suffer, though. Because that's what he did. They didn't name that movie Passion of the Christ for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because it was his passion or his longing or this desire for his people that he was willing to suffer the things that he suffered. Since I said that, give me Hebrews 12:1. See, nobody don't like to talk about that part of the love out. Remember, we talked about that last night too. The word kashak is when he said, I loved you. Nobody set their love upon you. I loved you. And I was dealing with Yah. You got the Kot, you got the Shan, and you got the Kuf. And this man is saying that he's going to destroy and put it behind you. And you've seen that in the context of the Deuteronomy 7 when he said he destroyed Pharaoh's house, which we finna get to that in a moment. That's along with what I shot y'all earlier this week. You didn't know that though. Anybody remember what characters it is for blood and what the word for blood is? I mentioned it last night. I mentioned it on purpose too. Who know what the word for blood is? You know what the word for blood is? That is one of the characters. That is correct. You got one more character after that. No. The word for blood is Dam. So you have the Daleth, and you got the Min. So what is those two characters telling you? But not only blood on the door, it say the door that leads to water. And what is water? So the door that leads to life. Because what does the law say what's in the blood? Life. You know what I'm saying? So blood is actually pointing you to something else. It's telling you about something else. You know what I'm saying? We overlook that. As you notice, and guess what? If he loved you and then he separated you from something, destroyed it, and then put it behind you. And what was he able to do that with? He had to do it with the blood first. The blood is what caused him to be able to do that, which we're going to see in a moment. Go ahead. You got what?
12 and what? You didn't give me the verse.
1.
Oh, okay, that's what. You just said 12. My bad. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about so great a cloud of witness, let us lay aside every weight.
Let us lay aside what?
Every weight.
And what else?
And the sin which does easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us.
Better put that stuff to the side. And whatever those weights could be, them weights could be thoughts, them weights could be people, the weights could be places, it could be inanimate objects, and whatever plague you got in your own heart, that man say set that stuff to the side, is holding you back. That's why I said, like, every person in the room, if you say, okay, I don't got this man breath in me, you know why you ain't got it. You know what the weight is, and you know what the sin is that's stopping you from getting it, so why are you holding on to it? That's the part I don't understand. If you know what is hindering you from achieving your ultimate objective, why are you still holding it? Because at that point, you're showing yourself to be of low grade of intelligence. And I know ain't nobody sitting in here of low grade of intelligence. So that means you either enjoy what you're holding on to too long, or you scared to release it. Because you're either scared to release it because you don't think you're going to get something better to replace it, or you just really, really like it. But no, just go ahead and let it go. I done told you before, and I tell you again. Anything that Elohim got to give you is exponentially greater than anything that you could ever conceive in your mind. He said, I have not seen, nor ear have heard, nor as it came into the heart of man what Elohim has prepared for those that love him. Ain't nothing you can come up with in your brain that is going to be greater than what he got to give you. The same way we were talking about the people that he joined people to. You think it was a better friend for David than Jonathan? Absolutely not. Because if it was, then y'all would have had him with somebody greater than Jonathan. You think it was a better woman for our father Isaac than Rebekah? Absolutely not. Or he'd have had to marry another Syrian. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. You think it was a better woman for Abraham than Sarah? Absolutely not. Or he would have had to marry somebody else. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you really have to start looking at it in that aspect. Like, Leah was joined in the game because that was y'all's will. Something else had to go down. There was a reason for that. But you think it was a better woman for Rachel, or he would have for Jacob than Rachel? He would have let his eye catch somebody else's then. He would have said, "Oh, I want to marry her." No, that's not what happened. You think it was a better woman to help stop what Haman had going on in Esther? If it was, then another Hebrew woman would have been in that spot. You know what I'm saying? You think it was a better woman to be a judge during the time of judges than Deborah? No, because then another one, then Barak wouldn't have got down with her, because it had to be a mighty warrior to be down with her. He joined all these people for a specific purpose, and he knows why he lined them up. We don't look at it that way, because we looking at it, that's what I like. I feel like it'd be great for me. That's why you're not paid to think. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at it that way. If y'all got it for you, it's better. Because you know why it's better? His will is going to be fulfilled. Don't get no better than that. What you say? Don't get no better than that. Well, what y'all done did to that baby? He look like he done got a tan in the cold. He darker than the last time I seen him, man.
He got a little, turned a little red.
He was kind of dark like that before he started crying. They done put that baby in the tanner booth. Go ahead, man. Verse 2.
It says, looking unto Yahusha, the author and finisher of our faith, who endured the state.
He did what?
Endured the state.
What else did he do?
Despising the shame.
He despised the shame.
And he sat down at the right hand of the throne of Elohim.
Go ahead.
For consider him that endured so much contradiction of sinners
against himself,
lest ye be weary
and faint in your mind. Huh? You got to sit back and look at that. That man say he endured all of that, and it was a direct contradiction to himself. See, niggas don't be ready for all that. How many people will be willing to do that? You gonna sit back and endure something you ain't did nothing wrong, and everything you're enduring is a direct contradiction to who you are and what you stand for, and you doing that for somebody else. So when you know that, you ain't got no business. Niggas ain't got no business. They ain't got no business losing no faith. How you lose faith? Let's read the next verse. What he say? Look what he say.
It says, ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin.
Hey, now these niggas falling out and losing faith. Nigga ain't even resisted sin to the point of losing their own blood. Ain't nobody put no gun to your head and said they were gonna kill you. Ain't nobody said they were gonna beat you up. Ain't nobody said they were gonna crucify you. And these niggas losing faith off regular life experiences. That even if you wasn't in the word, you probably were gonna have to deal with that. Straight up, y'all done seen it too. Niggas falling out, losing their faith on regular life experiences, ain't them? You got sinners stronger than some of these niggas. I'm for real though, when it comes to just mental and spiritual fortitude, where even without the word, just like inward fortitude, you got sinners stronger than some of these niggas in the word. Because these are regular life experiences that we done seen some of these people fall out from. Regular life experiences. Niggas become homeless every day, B. Niggas lose their job every day. You know what I'm saying? People go without meals every day. People get disrespected every day. People die every day. You know what I'm saying? This stuff happen all the time. Niggas falling out. Looks like it's here, right? I hadn't even chance to holler at you. Remember, I had tagged you in that thing about his homeboy that got killed, right? You know, I listened to the 911 tape, right? You listen to that 911 tape?
No, I didn't even listen to it.
Yeah, I listened to the 911 tape. They claiming that the lady shot him in self-defense. It's some people that I can see they faith got shaky off that because the lady didn't go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Because she didn't go to jail. Because they felt like, how can y'all let somebody do this here? What difference does it make if she don't go to jail or not? Don't you know she going to hell if she don't repent? Y'all ain't never thought about that. You don't even know what type of judgment y'all would render on her family or on herself because you can't actually see it with your own two eyes. Maybe it ain't for you to see. Maybe it's for his family to see. You know what I'm saying? See, we don't think about none of that because you want stuff to go down. She ain't got to go to jail. She still got to stand before y'all though. If you killed the man with malice in your heart, then judgment is coming towards you however he see fit. You going to jail ain't going to make me feel no better. Yeah, she went to jail. And she still got to stand before y'all. Niggas don't think about that. But they claim she shot the man because he was beating up her boyfriend. You can hear it on the 911 tape say, if he don't get out of here, I'm going to shoot him in the face. You can hear the little kid screaming. You know what I'm saying? I guess cuz we're working. They said they got in a fight by the water bill. You know what I'm saying?
What was out there brawling for?
I don't know. I mean, that's the account. I don't know what happened because I wasn't there. But that's what the police issued. You know what I'm saying? And said that this is what occurred. And they was like, I seen Hebrews saying it's ironic you can't hear him on the tape. You probably can't hear him because he probably was putting them hammers on that cracker. You know what I'm talking about? Bam, bam, bam. Of course you ain't gonna hear him. He working him. You ain't even hear Buddy who was getting beat up. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up. All you heard was the woman and the kids.
There wasn't no tape.
Oh, no, not no videotape.
I thought they was at the store.
They were. They was at a pet spot. That's why I sent you the thing where the lady put on there, she changed her name to Stand Your Ground's pet spot. So I know she killed him out of malice. Because that was some disrespectful junk to do right there.
Stand your ground. Ain't nobody coming at you with no weapon.
Shoot, she
Like,
said.
stand in your ground,
He said,
man.
I guess he would beat the brakes off cuz.
Yeah.
I mean, let them tell I say I wasn't there, so I can't say cuz wrong. I can't say cuz wasn't wrong. Because I wasn't there. All I'm going on is secondhand information. I wouldn't believe that white woman far as I could throw her. You know what I'm saying? So she ain't got no credibility with me. Of course she gonna slant the story and make her look good. I shot him. He was beating up my boyfriend. Should tell your nigga get some better hands.
I still don't see how you can justify me getting whooped or getting shot. That ain't no easy trade-off. That ain't even.
Not in my mind. Shoot. I know if I was her, I'm gonna sit back and think I might need me a new man.
Yeah, he might need that beat.
If he were getting beat how she said he was getting beat, not like you took an L. She was like
he was beating him to death.
pummeling him. Pummeling him. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I feel that though, cause you can't beat a nigga to sleep, man.
You know what I'm saying? That's how she described it. Like, Cole was in there, bum, 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 me like this here. Help me, please. Help me. You know, that's that shame beating right there, though. Sometimes, boy, you done had a nigga hit a nigga. I seen a nigga get hit, boy, knock all the fight out of him. That nigga, bah! They say, you got it, boy. They say, boy, you got it. Ain't no shame in that, boy. Sometimes these niggas hit hard. Nigga hit you with one of them, boy, you got it, my nigga. Nigga wasn't even.
You hit a nigga with a sleeper, you ain't supposed to hit him no more.
But no, they're not even a sleeper. Boy, I done seen niggas, now you can't get hit because if you sleep, you ain't got the chance to tell a nigga, oh, you got it. Boy, I done seen a nigga hit a nigga with a wow. Nigga say, boy, you got it, boy. Oh, nigga knocked the fight out of him. Nigga like this here. Wave that flag, nigga, I'm straight.
You got to go ahead and sleep.
Let's shoot, nigga described it. They said that what Mike Tyson used to hit them niggas with. You got it. On the street. I ain't talking about in no ring. Nigga say Mike Tyson hit a nigga with it. You got it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Boy, that little nigga probably look like he hit devastating. Nigga, I'm not fighting them. I'ma shoot that nigga. Boy, you know, I'm leave that alone. Remember I showed you them clips where Mike was getting interviewed? No, that nigga Mike wild, boy. Want nothing to do with Mike. Come on back to what was that for that Hebrew 12?
Genesis and then Ezekiel.
Ezekiel, what I have for in Ezekiel?
I meant Exodus.
Yeah, come on to Exodus 33. Oh, we already read that. We was in Romans 9. No, all jokes aside though. It's dead serious though. I seen a few people, bro, they were losing their faith behind that. You could see that their faith was getting kind of weak because they just knew that that woman was going to jail. But like I say, you don't never know, man. Y'all might kill all her kids. He might cause her to go broke. Her boyfriend could get cancer and die. You don't never know what could happen.
She could get cancer and die.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know what can happen. Because we got it in our mind how judgment should be rendered. Y'all will render judgment as he see fit, when he see fit. Every righteous man who got killed in this book, and like I said, I don't know the brother, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say you're a righteous man. You know what I'm saying? Every righteous man in this book didn't have their death vindicated. Yahusha's death still ain't been vindicated. You know what I'm saying? Zechariah, who got stoned in Chronicles, his death wasn't vindicated. Just like Jeremiah told them people, if you kill me, know you got innocent blood on your hands, and that's an abomination before Yah. He'll catch him when he catch him. Nigga be forgetting about it. You gotta remember, Yahuwah is a gangster. I will catch you. I don't run up on you when you thinking. If you got beef with a nigga, see, that's how a lot of niggas end up going to prison or getting killed. They get into it with a nigga and they run up on the nigga right then. Nigga know you coming. You know what I'm saying? Real gangster wait and catch you with your drawers down. You know what I'm saying? You know how they used to teach you in the chain gang how to take a dump? Said never sit there on the toilet with your pants by your ankles. Because they said somebody run up on you, guess what you doing? You can't even move. And they say you sit there and you had them jump right there on your quads. So you could get up, bam, so you ready. That's what they mean, catch you with your drawers down. You sitting there on the toilet taking a dump. You wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? Because you know people get comfortable on the toilet. You know what I'm saying? You sit on the toilet, get your magazine or a newspaper or your phone. You know, it's new time, so you don't read no magazine or newspaper. Get you a book and you sit there for 30, 40 minutes. Read. You've been finished using the bathroom. Somebody come in there and slap you all around. You like this, like, oh! You know what I'm talking about? Am I lying though? All around. You can't do nothing. Because you can't even move because you trying to pull your clothes. Hey, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? I'm for real though, man. Old head told me, they say, boy, don't you do it. He said, boy, you don't do that. And they say, don't have them things, but you got it, because you got to be ready to bump. You know what I'm saying? Y'all catch you when, how many people, who can you think in this book y'all caught with they draw down, they wasn't ready?
I wasn't ready.
He caught the whole world with Noah.
I was thinking about something before.
Yeah, he caught them too.
Caught them boys in there drinking it.
Guess what? He gonna catch the whole world when Mashiach come back. Everybody draw down.
Down. Naked on the toilet.
Naked on the toilet. That's what Lil Muffin used to do. She used to get butt naked to use the bathroom.
Man, why you pulling that jaw out?
Nigga, she was 2 years old. She was.
Why you still do that?
I don't know. I mean, she do now. I don't know. But when she was a baby, I felt like that was an antidote I could throw out there that she was a baby. I can't recall that because I was a baby. I don't remember. Leah used to do that too.
I know I get comfortable.
And then walking there like, Muffin, why you in here naked? What's wrong with you? Oh, is that embarrassing you?
Huh? Oh, yeah? Never naked reveal.
See, never naked. I remember I saw this and then we'll move forward. I seen a dude say he had to get on his daughter for drinking her bath water. Did any of y'all kids drink their bath water?
Oh yeah, Marvin there. Marvin there
drinking their bath water.
When they real young, they
yeah, I mean they don't know no better than them in water. They ain't sitting there looking at it as soap and dirt in here. I wonder what it tastes like. Your filth. You know? Romans, man.
Yeah, it's different than gifts. You can still go in there and hit the latch. It's gonna take them a minute to get in and infiltrate. But in jail, it ain't no doors, son.
But see, you gotta remember, in prison, it's just a row of toilets.
Yeah.
With a wall. You know what I'm saying? But even if you in a dorm, in a cell, then you know what I'm saying, the bowl like facing the door. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot, that county.
Yeah, it depends.
Your back
it depends on yourself.
When I was in, you definitely caught.
Cause I done I've been in a couple cells. That junk with face. That junk with.
See a nigga walk in.
You junk with facing the door. Cause that's why niggas would put They curtain up.
The sheet. Still a bed sheet up, baby.
But I'm gonna tell you, a real chain gang nigga, he ain't putting nothing up. Better turn your head when you walk by. I'm finna dump. Nigga tell their roommate, you better roll on your back, nigga, face the wall.
I need to see.
Straight up. That John crazy, man. Go ahead, man. Romans 9, wherever you start that. That John crazy, man. That John real crazy, bro.
All right, I'm gonna jump down to 12.
Come on.
It said, it was said that her the elder shall serve the younger, as it is written, Jacob I have loved, but Esau I have hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with Elohim?
Okay, so, you know, a lot of people feel that way. Why does he choose people and he do what he want to do? Go ahead.
It says, what shall we say then?
What shall we say?
Is there unrighteousness with Elohim?
Is there unrighteousness with Elohim?
God forbid.
Elohim forbid.
For he said unto Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy.
What he said to Moses?
I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy.
And what else did he say?
And I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion.
So I'll do what I want to do.
So then it is not of him that willeth.
It ain't of him that willeth.
Nor of him that runneth.
Nor of him that run.
Or Elohim that showeth mercy.
It's of Elohim that show mercy.
For the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose I have raised thee up.
For the same purpose I did what?
I have raised thee up.
I did what?
Raised thee up.
What else?
That I might show my power in thee.
So pause. So you do not realize that Esau's whole purpose was for us to see Elohim's power too? So the people who he chooses are for his esteem, and the people who he don't choose are for us to know his power in them. Somebody got to be on the side of the ledger. Give me Matthew 25 and 30. Hey, somebody need to open that door because he locked himself out. That's right, no call, they ain't made it. What you laughing at?
Man.
That nigga up crazy.
It said, and cast ye unprofitable servant unto the outer darkness, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. When the Son of Man shall come in his esteem, and all the Kadash Malachim with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his esteem. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another.
I gathered all who?
All nations.
And he gonna do what?
Separate them one
so
from
he gonna
another.
cut them now. He gonna put a fence.
As the shepherd divided his sheep from
yes,
the
sir.
goats.
Yes, sir.
And he shall set up the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left.
Oh, let me ask y'all the question. What he say he gonna do with them goats on the left? So his power could be known then. Even with them, he's making a choice. Let's get Matthew 22 and 14 and Exodus 12 and 13. Let's get it on the road. Now it's time to roll. And we're gonna look at that Ruach HaKodesh too. We're gonna talk about that for a moment.
For many are called, few are chosen.
That's it. That's all we wanted. How many people can anybody think of any person who was called but then y'all rejected them?
Saul.
Exactly. And we're gonna look at Saul too, because anybody know what's that Saul, something that happened to Saul? You know, Saul had the spirit fall on him. Y'all aware of that? But then it went away. You know what I'm saying? See, and that's the difference between when you get the Ruach now, it doesn't go away. Once you get it, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Because once you got it, it's going to keep you from doing. See, if you got to, see, Saul was an idiot anyway. So all Saul was going to be able to do would do what? Do what he do. But he wasn't going to hold firm because he never had a heart to hold firm no way. Come on, man. Exodus 12 and 13. Let's go ahead and do it. Matter of fact, make it Exodus 12 and 10. Or 11, I should say.
It said, and thus shall ye eat with your loins girded, and your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. For you shall eat.
Hey, that nigga put you out there, little muffin. He say you still do it. That don't mean nothing. He could be laughing on the inward parts or out loud. I have nothing to do with that.
She's going to hit with a farting telling lies.
Farting telling lies.
And make service over that farting.
Over there. Farting telling lies. Go ahead.
It says, you shall eat it with shoes on your feet and your staff in your hand. You shall eat it in haste. It is Yahuwah's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Mizraim this night, and I will smite all the firstborn in the land of Mizraim, both man and beast, and against all the Elohim of Mizraim, I will execute judgment. I am Yahuwah.
Yes, sir.
And the blood shall be to you for a token.
The blood shall be what?
A token upon the houses. Where ye are. Then when I see the blood,
when I see the what?
I will pass over you.
I will do what?
Pass over you.
And the what?
And the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Mizraim.
So, okay. Now let's roll. Now again, the blood is the word dam. It is the daleth and the meme, meaning the door which leads to water. Can anybody think of the first door that leads to water in the text? There's a spot where we can talk about right now, a door leading to water. Anybody know where we can see that? No, there wasn't no door out there.
I was thinking we was like,
when we say door, you don't necessarily have to have like a literal door, just an entranceway.
I was thinking about when you say you put the cherubim at the door.
No, he put the cherubims with a flaming sword to guard the tree of life. Didn't put them at the door because the tree was outside.
That's why you say you ain't have to be a literal door. That's what we know.
No. When I'm saying literal door, like an entranceway, there wasn't no entranceway. The tree was just right there, and he just set them right there to guard it. That is one of them, and that is correct. That wasn't what I was thinking about, but that is one of them. But let's look at the one that I was referring to, and we're going to tie it into how that blood leads to door, which leads to water. I need Zechariah, the 13th chapter, and the 1st verse. She sounded like a real mom just then, didn't she? That's when she gave him that good look of derision.
Zechariah 12.
13 and 1.
In that day there shall be a fountain opened in the house of David, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanliness.
For sin and what?
Uncleanliness.
For sin and what?
Uncleanliness.
Say it'd be a fountain, right? What do fountains usually come out of?
Ground.
Out of a well most of the time, correct? So before we go any further, to get to the point of why we even looked at that, because he said it was for what? It was for two different things. What was
sin and uncleanness.
You know what I'm saying? So again, we got to remember, because he said he would cause judgment on all the houses of Egypt, and I was going to get to what Shayla mentioned about going through the Red Sea, because that it was a door, literally, because he made it come up as two walls. So when they walked through it, it was just they were going through a door. What caused them to go through the door was what? The blood. You know what I'm saying? So let's look at John chapter 4, verse 7. I will say for all of those y'all that were given a mission, y'all moved pretty quickly on answering it. Took Leisha a couple days though. Well, you got children, you got a built-in excuse. Four and 7.
There cometh the woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahusha said unto her, give me to drink. For the disciples were going away into the city to buy meat. Then said to the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou being a Yahudim askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria?
Oh, this side note too, a mission could pop up at any time with anybody in this room, whenever I feel like it. I do expect participation, or you will not get another mission, I can tell you that. Go ahead. A mission. Mission.
Mission. The mission is reason you take from like. Oh, a mission, yeah. I'm like, mission.
Go ahead.
What?
It says, how that thou being a Yahudim askest of me, which is a woman of Samaria, for the Yahudim have no dealings with the Samaritans. Yahusha answered and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of Elohim, and who it is that said to thee,
what is the gift?
Drink.
He said, if y'all know that, what is the gift of Elohim? We talked about it about 2 weeks ago. The Ruach is the gift of Elohim. That's why he said if you knew the gift, you would have known who asked you for the water and you would have gave it to him. Go ahead.
You would have known, and who is that said, give me to drink? Thou would have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water.
Hold on, I thought that was Glover. Wasn't that nigga we met at Burger King told us you meet your wife at the well? Yeah. That nigga said you meet your wife at the well.
What it was?
He was talking about this woman here. He was saying that woman was the master's wife or some old crap like that.
She gave him drink.
She gave him drink, nasty bastard.
Nasty bastard.
And he said, you beat your wife at the well, brother. You beat your wife at the well.
Got some drink. At the well. The Cyrus is gone. He got some drink.
He ain't get no drink now.
She didn't get no drink. She went home thirsty.
She gonna cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth. That was wrong with her now. Always drinking something. Go ahead.
That was funny.
Yeah, he really said that. He was adamant about it too.
It says, the woman said unto thee, Sir, I have nothing to draw with. The well is deep. From whence, when that living
Who name mean drawn from water?
Moses.
Notice how she said, I ain't got nothing to draw with. The well is deep. What you think she mean when she make that statement? If we look at it spiritually, you have nothing. What do you usually draw water with? A pail or a vessel of some sort. And it's deep, so I don't have no way to get to it. See, that's a thing in Proverbs where he say a man can draw wisdom out of a man. That's another conversation. We'll get another day. Go ahead. Because I'm going to misquote the verse and I can't recall off the top of my head. Where is it? Go ahead, man.
Thou hast nothing to draw with. The well is deep. From whence, when thou that hast the living water. Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well and drank thereof himself?
Y'all know what chapter in Genesis that's at? I'm just making sure that you know where it's at. It's in the 29th chapter. He watered 3 sets of flocks. Go ahead. Hold on. Who else watered a set of flocks? Moses did. And also, again, this is also showing that this was a doorway to water with Jacob too. Because that was a cave. And he rolled the stone away and the water came out the cave and then he rolled it back. And he did it periodically to water these people. Go ahead, or water these flocks.
Yahusha answered and said unto her, whoever drinketh this water shall
never what?
Shall never thirst again. Well, shall thirst again. But whosoever drinketh of the water that I give him shall never thirst again.
Never thirst.
But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life.
15th chapter of John in the first verse.
15 John. It says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it.
What did he say after that?
That it may bring forth more fruit.
Now you what?
Now ye are clean.
You are what?
Clean.
From what?
Through the word which I have spoken you.
Now how are you able to be clean now? In the 5th chapter of Ephesians, he said that he did something. That you were washed by the water of the word. Zechariah spoke of that he opened a fountain for what? For sin and what? So, what can we ascertain? How is this going to be done? The 24th chapter of Luke and the 1st verse.
The first verse?
Yes, sir.
It says, now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came unto the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them. And they found the stone rolled away from the sepulchre.
They found the stone what?
Rolled away from the sepulchre.
And what else?
And they entered in and found not the body of the master Yahusha.
What happened?
And it came to pass that they were much perplexed thereabout. Behold, 2 men stood by them in shining garments. And as they were afraid, they bowed down their faces to the earth. They said unto them, why seek ye the living among the dead?
Why you do what?
Why seek the living among the dead?
What did we read last night? He the Elohim of what? The living, not the dead. They say, why you seeking the living among the dead? Go ahead.
It said he is not here, but is risen.
He is what?
But is risen.
He is what?
Not here. He is risen.
Now let's think about something right here, right? He said he opened it. Clearly this is the fountain which he has opened for sin and uncleanliness. I had something in my brain that fell out. Gotta remember where it's at. Oh yeah, Hebrews 9 and 10. He picked it up. Smart guy.
Pick it up.
No, you must have liked that song back in the day.
What?
Pick it up, pick it up.
I don't know that.
You don't know that? That's a cool running classic.
Oh, I know the little rump shaker type vibe.
No, that definitely wasn't no rump shaker. That was early 90s New York City hip hop, if I'm not mistaken. Like even one of that Cool Running classic song, Pimp Daddy, that came straight from a nigga from New York. Early 90s. Them niggas play both of them songs all the time. Number one, Pimp Daddy. That was your favorite song, you was a jit, huh? Look at it. Come on, man. Hebrew 9 and 10, man.
9 and 10. Which stood only in meats and drinks and diverse washings and carnal ordinances imposed on them until the time of Reformation.
Pause. Can anybody think of a carnal ordinance? Fringe is a carnal ordinance. Can anybody think of another carnal ordinance? Shaving what? That ain't talking about shaving or a taper. I just seen niggas arguing about that. Animal sacrifice definitely is a carnal ordinance. Can anybody think of another carnal ordinances? That is a carnal ordinance. The who?
Washing of the
He mentioned washing, so we ain't got to mention that one. Because there were certain diverse washings that you had to do. You had to cleanse yourself in a particular way before you could even approach the Elohim. Now you ain't got to do that because you've been washed by Mashiach. You ain't got to do all that. I hope you bathe, but you ain't got to do all that bathing like they had to do. They had to like wash their feet, wash their hands, wash this, wash that. No, I mean, no, he talking about his fourth is reconciliation or redemption, coming back to y'all to doing something. You know what I'm saying? That's why he sat back and said that it only stood in meats and drinks and because you know you had drink offerings, so you had to get wine, take that out, pour it out to y'all.
And then they had all them different cups and
all that stuff.
And basins and
you know what I'm saying? Ain't none of that redeemed nobody. Come on, sir.
carnal ordinances.
Verse 11.
But the Mashiach being come a high priest of good things, to come by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands.
Not made with what?
Not made with hands.
What does love mean? Behold the house, right? He the house, he wasn't made with no hands. Come on with it, man.
That is to say, not of this building.
Not of this building.
Neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood.
So guess what? The blood of goats and calves couldn't do what? It couldn't be a doorway to life. That couldn't do it. If we niggas always scream Hebrew this and Hebrew that, well, they should be able to see that from. This is why he tell you bulls and goats couldn't do it, man. They couldn't do it. Come on with it.
For 13. For the blood of bulls and goats and the ashes of a heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctified to the purified of the flesh.
Where did he say that fountain was for?
Sin and uncleanness.
Anybody know what the red heifer was for? And what had to be done with the red heifer? It was a sacrifice for sin. That was sacrificed how many times a year? One time a year. You know what they had to do to the red heifer?
Take it out.
Not only that, they had to knock his, they had to cut his whole head off. You know what I'm saying? Then they would take the blood, and what they do with the blood? They would sprinkle it on the altar. And then this blood was supposed to be for the purifying and cleansing of all the people, to purify them from sin. But the blood of a red heifer ain't gonna get you no life. Because guess what? He had to come back the next year and do it again. You can't help it. Get this man some ad-libs on somebody's comedy special or something. You don't know. But for real though, it definitely would have worked though. That nigga throw that in there, all you need is a nigga with a drum. It's gonna pop. But no, real talk though. Now look at the next thing he say. Because you got to remember this. Because the reason why we mention these words and what they mean, so when you read them, that's what comes to your mind versus reading blood. You understand what I'm saying? Or reading he loved us, or reading grace, or reading mercy, that those words come into your head. So when you read blood, you think the daughter leads to life. Because that's what this man's blood did. It led to life. Whether you look on the natural level of us coming out of Egypt, or you look at it literally that we got eternal life through his blood. Read that verse 13 again though.
It says, for if the blood of bulls and goats and the ashes of a heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctified to the purifying of the flesh,
yes, sir,
how much more shall the blood of the Mashiach, who suffered through the eternal Ruach, offer himself without spot to Elohim, Purge your conscience from dead works.
This is why he said you clean from the word that I have spoken unto you. Because the word that I've spoken unto you is for a word, it opened that fountain of sin and uncleanness, because he had to die first. See, he had to spill the blood, die, and then resurrect, and then that blood leads you to life, which is the faith that's in him. See, niggas overlook that. That's why I'm telling you, you got niggas losing faith off regular life occurrences. So what are these niggas gonna do when somebody, okay, I was just looking at something, right? I just seen that they say the owner of Amazon's net worth went up $50 billion in 2 years. That is wild. Say he worth $100 million now. Say the first person to be, $100 billion. Say he the first person to hit that number since Bill Gates in '99. It means absolutely nothing, because most of it's on paper anyway. And no, he don't got no $100 million sitting in no bank account nowhere or nothing. That's really stock price. Huh?
You mean he don't got 100 billion?
Shoot, he might not even got 10 billion in the bank. You know, may not even have 8 billion in the bank. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that stuff is stock price. That stock price go down, his net worth go down. That junk happened to Vince McMahon. That man was worth almost $1 billion one day. He pulled the move with WWF, and he wasn't a billionaire no more. You know what I'm saying? They said he lost like $300-400 million in one day.
They understand that because it's tied into the liquidation of assets.
Yeah, and they stock prices and all the assets that they possess. You know what I'm saying? But basically, you know what it really is, though? It's just a sophisticated way to say you got a whole bunch of people pocket watching. You know what I'm saying? Because who really cares how much money this man got? But I mentioned it because I was looking at something where we were talking about how they were data mining. And they want everybody to put all their information on the cloud. On Google Cloud specifically, not iCloud. You know what I'm saying? And I know everybody in here probably seen the movie Eagle Eye. You know what movie I'm talking about?
I got about Transformers, right?
Yeah, the little white boy from Transformers, man. And they just showed the part of the movie where they had everybody's information where they were stockpiling a profile and this, that, there, and the third, so they could know how you think and know how you move and what you like to buy and all this or other type of stuff, so they can. You know how niggas be tripping? Oh man, I was just looking at this on the internet and it popped up in my Facebook feed. Stupid nigga, it's all tied together.
So whatever you search on Google or whatever it's showing Facebook.
Yeah, I mean whatever you search on Google, whatever you look at on eBay, whatever you look at on Amazon, whatever you look at on YouTube, it don't make no difference. That junk gonna pop up. That's why a lot of niggas you know always got viruses on their computer, because they stay on porn sites all the time. You know what I'm saying?
One big whale.
You know what I'm talking about? And that junk just be popping up. All that stuff interconnected, because they really want to be like Elohim to a certain extent. But then also at the same time, in reality, they just want your money. So they feel like if I can put in your face what you want to buy, then I'm put it in your face. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really, at the end of the day, that's their really number one concern. You know what I'm saying?
They don't do it for general info.
Oh no, they do it for general info. The federal government do it. But I was just tripping on the fact that they say that the dude that Zuckerberg worth $75 billion. Like straight up.
I believe that. Facebook, you know what?
That's ads. Everything else, that's time.
But I was saying that it don't do that for general info, because like if you type in like, well, at least for me, when I type in information I'm looking up, I don't usually get nothing connected to that. It's always like stuff like that.
Yeah, it do, but I'm talking about, but the other stuff though, that's stockpiled with somebody else, somewhere else.
Yeah. I ain't saying they don't do it,
but I was like mentioning this is that they got a file on everybody. See, they used to ain't have files on nobody, just people who they thought were threats. You know what I'm saying? That's why all the niggas on the internet be like, bro, the feds watching me, bro. This just sound like the nickel bag nigga run in the neighborhood talking about the feds watching. Nobody's watching you, cuz. You just sell nickel bags. You know what I'm saying? Nigga JSO ain't even watching you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, straight up and down. Nigga, neighborhood watch ain't watching you. You ain't selling enough weed for nobody to watch you.
Neighbors ain't checking for you.
I'm for real though. But y'all know they talking about, bro, they shut my page down, bro. They made me change my name. They make everybody change their name eventually. You know what I'm saying? Bro, they locked me out my account. Because you were probably watching porn, nigga. That's why. Or posting porn. You know, somebody
flagged your post.
Somebody flagged your post. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Hebrew niggas used to be wild with. I remember Hebrew niggas share a video of a woman having sex with a horse. And I'm like, bro, why would you share that? But more importantly, for you to share it, you had to watch it.
He probably was like, oh, he couldn't be an abomination.
Okay, but guess what though?
But now that's how they try.
But that's no different than sharing a porn.
I know.
Cause see, but my whole point is, it ain't the sharing, nigga. You watched it.
You watched it enough.
You watched it.
See,
you watched it. That's my point. You watched that, cuz. So you ain't that, cause if guess what? If it's abominable to you, and you scroll, cause you know back in the day you could scroll and the videos don't play. See, now you can scroll and the video play, so something might start playing and you stop and then you disgust it, and then you wish you didn't stop. You know what I'm talking about? But these niggas don't stop and keep scrolling. Nigga pause, look, share, see them white folks, them Edomites, they disgusted. Nah, nigga, you like that type of stuff.
You aroused.
Yeah, definitely. Cause that's why you watched it. Not finna watch no woman have no sex with no horse. Talking about it shared and talking about this an abomination. I remember a white girl told me she put peanut butter on her private parts and let her dog lick it off. I said I will no longer be your friend. You're disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that enter into your mind that that's acceptable to do? But I mean, I've been around people who've done all type of this. I mean, I'm the same way I look at a woman let 12, 13 dudes knock her down. You're disgusting. Shoot, and I used to wonder at them niggas how you niggas can sit in a room butt naked together. Cause I'm not on that. I'll pass. I ain't on that. I ain't on that freaky type of stuff, man. Too many niggas in here. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not on that. All these niggas naked.
We're all here for one time ago.
And they was, but that's a little. I ain't saying niggas gay. That's just a little too freaky for me. You know what I'm saying? Using certain drugs. Just like I seen dudes debating on the fact of, and the nigga had a point that when we were young, it was drug dealing music. Now it's drug user music. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, how y'all gonna talk about us? Y'all was on drugs. I'm like, yeah, them niggas was smoking crack. Niggas was snorting cocaine.
But it still was like that. Cause I was sure, we were talking about them songs. White Lines and...
Yeah, but I mean, we talking about hip hop though. You know, see, White Lines was more of a song where he was talking about people using coke than him using coke. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, Raekwon definitely said on Cream, I smoke cracks and weed. I knew niggas who were young who smoked rocks. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's cool for you to be like, these niggas like to be junkies. It just shows the deviating of society. So then when you see the deviating of society, then you see everything just crumbles and it gets to the point where it's at right now. This is what the sanctifying for the unclean got to come in at. You know what I'm talking about? Because niggas' conscience is defiled. I forget what verse that is in Timothy. Well, he say that your conscience is defiled and seared with a hot iron. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like mentioning the youth, like, hey, if them niggas, I can't say nothing about them young niggas getting high because we got high. Now I stayed on weed. You know what I'm saying? I didn't progress past weed. I had homeboys smoke bunks every day. Oh yeah, it's way more. It's more. What it is it's more promoted and popular now to be a junkie. You know what I'm saying? Because a song in the 90s would have not been popular talking about Molly Percocets because a nigga would have clowned you. Look at this junkie nigga, right? Like niggas didn't even want niggas to know they smoked bunks or snorted coke. We had a homeboy that snorted coke for years and we ain't never know it. You know what I'm saying? Cause the nigga be like, boy, you snort, boy?
They were making songs about blow.
Yeah, but we talking about in reality, that wasn't acceptable to let that be known that you snorted. Like when Trick came through with smoking bunks, all the niggas who had been smoking bunks the whole time, they felt like it was cool for them to come out and say they smoked bunks.
That was that term, generally.
Cause this is 99, when that nigga 98, 99 Trick come around talking about smoke. All these niggas was already doing that, but it wasn't cool for niggas to know you did that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't cool for a nigga to know you snort coke. You know what I'm saying? But niggas in New York was smoking crack and weed for years and niggas was cool with it. You know what I'm saying? But a nigga would have clowned. If you would have been open about how much of a junkie you was, people would have clowned you. But then when we look in the ancient times and we look in our text, niggas, just like a matter of fact, it's in Isaiah the 3rd chapter. Go on and get it to me. Give me verse 5. Because I said all that to get to this. Niggas ain't got no problem telling you what they sin is now. 3 and 5. Just like I told you, the young lady put out that she was finna cheat on her husband, and they was like, oh, you needed to build her up. Oh, he said that's why Bobby Brown wasn't open? Probably not. I mean, it just wasn't something that ain't something you broadcasted. Yeah, that I'm a junk. In the 80s, though, cocaine was socially acceptable. You know what I'm saying? If you had money. Yeah, if you had money.
Oh, yeah.
Was on it.
Because you had to have money, because cocaine was a rich man drug. Poor people couldn't afford cocaine. So you were seen to be of an elite status if you were snorting. You know what I'm saying? But then, you know, Richard Pryor was smoking rocks because he was freebasing. Like, they were smoking rocks back then. That's how he set himself on fire. He was freebasing. Woo! Shoot, I ain't got to be that. That nigga said I burnt my face from freebasing. That's all I need to know. Shoot, it happened to him. He could tell it.
That's why he was so funny.
Yeah, he was a junkie. But also, you know, back then them niggas was on that boy. You know what I'm talking about? They was on that boy hard. Now white people on that boy, and they want us to feel sorry for them. We gotta treat drugs as a problem, as an illness. No, lock all them crackers up. Yeah, lock all them crackers up like you did my people for smoking crack. I ain't got no compassion for them. Go and give them 30 years. Don't you know, boy, you get caught with a gram of hair in the state of Florida, man, you could catch 30 years. You get caught with one ecstasy pill in the state of Florida, you're going to catch 30 years.
So they catching years on that?
Oh, yeah, you get caught with an oxycodone, you can get 30 years.
For real?
Because that's like a first-degree felony.
This nigga got 5 years. This nigga got working at UNF. This nigga got 5 years off of 2 lower times.
That's a first-degree felony, man. They carry 30 years. Because they're Schedule 1 narcotics.
For 2, they pulled them over here. 2.
So that means when something is a Schedule 1 narcotic, the feds say that this has no medicinal value whatsoever. And that's where they got marijuana at. It's a Schedule 1 narcotic. So they can hide you for it, basically what that means. Go ahead. Isaiah 3 and 5.
Go ahead. It said, and the people shall be oppressed every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. When a man shall take hold of his brother of the house of his father, saying, thou hast
Drop to verse 8.
It said, for Jerusalem is ruined, and Yehuda is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against Yehuda.
Their tongue and their what?
Their tongue and their doings.
They say your mouth and your actions is against Yahuwah. Go ahead.
To provoke his eyes.
Go ahead.
Provoke the eyes of his esteem.
Go ahead.
The show of the countenance does witness against them.
The show of their what?
Their countenance.
So what he's telling you, right? The looks on their face testify against you.
They declare their sins as Sodom.
They declare they sin as who?
Sodom.
What they were doing in Sodom? Everything. But you know they say they declare they sin with Sodom. Guess the next thing he said they don't do?
They hide it not.
They don't even hide it.
Woe unto their soul, for they have their reward evil unto themselves.
See, and this reason why we looked at this here, because wicked people feel like if I declare my sin, then you shouldn't say nothing to me. Because these people don't even hide. Adulterers don't hide anymore. Whoremongers don't hide anymore. Junkies don't hide anymore. Every nigga want to be a killer ain't gonna kill nothing, let nothing be killed. You know what I'm talking about? Thieves don't hide no more. Idolaters don't hide no more. Witches and warlocks don't hide no more. You know what I'm saying? I seen the lady say, you supposed to have compassion on me like Jesus did on the lady in John 3. He told her go and sin no more. I said, y'all thinking myself, you dumb hoe, if you put yourself out there like that, you should have known niggas was gonna come for you. How you gonna put out there you was finna cheat on your husband and think ain't nobody gonna come for you? You got to know that. You know what I'm saying? So, but guess what happens, right? Because we talk about that loosely, right? You know what? I'm going to ask y'all this again. In our law, if you catch a nigga sinning, what you supposed to do? You supposed to pull him in front of everybody. In front of everybody. Because he's supposed to be shamed in front of everybody. And then what you were supposed to do after that? Stone him right in and there on the spot. And what was the purpose of stoning him for? So everybody else would fear and not participate in that behavior. You know what I'm saying? Now in these days, and after Mashiach comes, he said you're supposed to bring him in front of the congregation and shame him. And if not shame him, to put him out so they could be shamed. You know what I'm saying? But people don't look at, that's not the godly thing to do. Clearly you don't know Yah, because to him it is. You know what I'm saying? Now we talking about somebody who is supposed to be in the faith, not somebody who know what they're doing. If you know what you're doing, that man don't care nothing about what you're talking about.
That's why they're coming for. You telling us you was finna admit and do something you know you ain't had
no business doing. And you married.
You ain't married. You were married.
So that's why they coming for you. Even though she didn't have sex with the man. She didn't do it. She thought about doing it and was prepared to do it and then decided not to do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the point of most people don't know that, because you know in the Christian church they tell you don't make nobody feel bad. To tell you not to make nobody feel bad because there's nobody doing what they're supposed to do, so nobody can hold anybody accountable.
What if the church did that?
A lot of people wouldn't go.
On third Sunday, I know third Sunday after service.
Nobody would go.
That list, y'all come on up here.
You seen that video of that lady? You seen that video where she like?
Oh yeah. Now they see that. Guess what though? The dude say, dude. I seen the video. The dude, he said, look how that man walked off disgusted. You know what I'm saying? And he was.
You see that?
She said, she talked about, I put my mouth on man's balls. Oh yeah. The lady looked like she smoked crack. The lady looked like she smoked crack. She came up there and confessed. She said, I've been fornicating. She said, I've been having oral sex. I put my mouth on men's balls. Well, he dropped the mic. This is how he did it, right? He's standing there next to her. When she said, I put my mouth on men's balls, he just did that microphone like this.
And walked on. Gave it to the lady pastor.
And then just like this here. And he was disgusted. Now I'm gonna tell you, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. Speaking for me.
She's talking about herself, bro.
Speaking for me, 9 times out of 10, that woman who did that confession probably wasn't even a member or a regular participant.
No, definitely not.
You know what I'm saying? So therefore, I expect to hear this kind of behavior from her. So we're going to give you a rebuke, go and sin no more. I'm not going to be disgusted because I expect you to participate in this behavior. But if your names is on the books and you hear all the time, then yes, I'm going to be very disgusted. You know what I'm talking about? And you can get your free balling butt up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Now you finna get shamed in front of everybody. You see this old ball juggling nigga right here? See this?
Come here every Sunday. Him and knocking little boys. Bring him up here.
Bring him on up here.
Bring him up here.
Bring him on up here. Knocking little boy down. You know you ain't had no business doing none of that, boy. He's a child. Keep your mouth to yourself.
They should do that though. That sounds so right.
But they do it. It's the altar call, but ain't nobody finna come up there and tell the truth.
Well, he just be calling people.
But guess what? Because you know, like because I done seen this. They calling people up there to give a testimony and this, that, there, and the third, and to speak. But ain't nobody finna come up there and say, "I'm a first class sinner. I slept with Pastor John's wife. I've been stealing the money."
You ready to say, you know, I'm a drunk or I be getting high? Like,
I feel like at a big church saying it should be a drop box at the front.
Ain't no drop box.
No.
You get caught, run that nigga up here.
No, I'm saying because you can't do it every day because y'all don't meet every day. That's the whole thing. So I catch you slipping. You know,
but see, that ain't no thing now. See, if I catch you slipping, the next time we get here, bomb right here in front of everybody.
I know what I'm saying. If it's a lot of people, that's gonna take all day.
Well, let it take all day then. Where we got to go? We ain't got nowhere to go. We finna handle this today.
I was just saying that, so they already.
But also, as I told y'all, as we went over though, it also to the discretion, because you can rebuke in private.
Yeah.
You can rebuke in public. You can rebuke in private and in public. Do you know what I'm saying? But some sins, they need to be rebuked in public.
Yeah, I do feel like it should be open.
Sometimes you got to go ahead and drag a nigga out there in front of everybody. Go ahead and tell him, I had sex with Brother Johnny's wife. You got to pull him on out there. You got to put him on out there.
Because I think a lot of people not going to put themselves out there.
So late.
That's why I feel like it's going to encourage other people to do it. Because you might have had something that you had bottled up that you know you wanted to say.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you what it's going to encourage people to do. Go home and not come back.
Yeah.
No, what they gonna go back to is I'm gonna go back to it. I'm gonna go to a church that's not going to embarrass me.
I'm go back to that.
Guess what, right? If I know there's a church that's gonna call me out versus a church that ain't, I'm going to the church that ain't. If I know the church ain't gonna hold me accountable, then I ain't gonna go to the one that's gonna hold me accountable. If I know this church ain't got no standard, then I'm gonna go to the one that ain't got no standard.
Well, church do that gonna look just like this.
You know, straight up now. But they niggas know that now. Guess what? If a nigga was to keep it generic, if I was to keep it generic and this, that, but then you have 1,000 niggas. Boy, I'll be bringing it, boy. We be bringing it. Go to stand for something, man. That nigga think he this and that, man. I don't know about that, brother. I can preach too. I know stuff too. He don't love people. You know what I'm saying? We trying to love you out of hell. That's the problem with niggas. Niggas gonna love you straight to hell. You know what I'm talking about? Come on back to Exodus 12, man. I gotta crank it up a notch. Niggas gonna love you straight to hell. You hear me? Y'all. That's real though. Nigga, like, let me tell you something, right? I'm gonna tell y'all this real talk, man. I know I done said it before. I say it again. Enabling somebody in sin is not love. That's not love, man. In no shape, form, or fashion. Knowing a nigga doing something he ain't got no business, turning your head from a nigga who doing something you know he ain't got no business, not holding accountable a nigga who doing something. That's not love, man. That is not love. You don't love that person. Most time people turn their head because they doing stuff they ain't got no business. They don't want their stuff to get put out there in the front. Just go ahead and own it and wear it, man. But before we proceed, can anybody think of anything in our law where the people had to stand up and confess?
When they came out of captivity.
Yeah, in Leviticus 26, he told them, come on, stand up here and tell it. You got niggas who confess. You got niggas who ask for apologies on Day of Atonement. That junk ain't even in the book. You ain't supposed to wait till the 10th day of the 7th month. If I offended anybody, forgive me. You supposed to handle that immediately. Nigga waiting around. I'm going to wait till atonement and ask for forgiveness. Dumb nigga, you. Better go straighten that right then. Come on, man. 12 and 13, Exodus.
It says, and the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses.
What is that token? It's a distinguishing mark. So that's a covenant, correct? Come on.
It said, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Israel.
So let's look at the next thing that we need to examine. If he say when he see the blood, is that an inspection, so to speak? Now, what did we talk about when it came to inspecting? Well, let's look at it. Genesis 27. Give me about verse 20. I want to say. Let me make sure. Ain't it cold in here, man? You don't want to cut no heat on. All we got to do, bunch. Genesis 27, 20.
And Isaac said unto his son, how is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because Yahuwah the Elohim brought it to me. And Isaac said to Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that I might feel thee.
That he might what?
Feel thee.
What up?
My son, whether thou beat my very son Esau or not.
But if you beat my very what?
Son Esau or not.
And what up?
And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father and felt him and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau.
So he inspected him, correct? Is that what we're looking at? He's looking at an inspection to see if this is his very son or not. So what can we be able to ascertain from that? We need to go look at 2 Corinthians chapter 5. Give me verse 10. Second Corinthians chapter 5, give me verse 10. Because if Yahuwah is doing inspecting like Isaac is doing inspecting, what is he going to be inspecting for? To see if the Ruach of Elohim is inside of you. Because he has to check you. That's the same thing he said in the Exodus, right? He said, I will do what? He said, and then when I see the blood, I will pass over you. And that word is ra'ah, and it is to look, to inspect, to discern, to distinguish. You know what I'm saying? So that also ra'ah, yeah.
So that's the rock on the bit. That's the first head.
You won't eat it.
He got to be there.
Give it to him.
He got to be there. So when he inspect your house, Mashiach got to be in you, or the door that leads to life is not present. And what's the door that leads to life when he's looking for that dam or looking for that blood on your natural house? Because remember, we can read that in Job. If iniquity be found in your tabernacle, put it far from you. And then he said you'll lift up your head without spot, which means you'll be clean. Go ahead, sir.
No.
2 Corinthians
5 and 10.
It said, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Mashiach, that everyone may receive things done in his body, according to that he has done, whether it be good or bad.
Now you know why we came here just to read that? Because we finna read Revelation chapter 2 and verse 23. Because we all know what, who knows what Jeremiah 17 say right after he say, you know, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. And what did he say after that? He gonna try your reins and he gonna try your, he's gonna inspect to see if he's there or not. That's what I be meaning, like you got niggas falling away from the faith from regular life occurrences. You ain't even falling away from the faith for enduring suffering for the word. Niggas just regular stuff in life. Niggas be falling away from the faith because y'all ain't giving them what they want. That's why they falling away, because he ain't giving them what they want. So it's easier to walk away from him so you can get what you want. Then you like to say, he blessing me now. You wicked bastard, you. I hope he turn your temperature up 1,000 degrees when you get there. Because you're a wicked nigga. Real. You know what I'm saying? That's real wicked. To when you felt like you were obeying and following, you wasn't getting what you wanted. Now you lukewarm in your service and you getting what you wanted, and now you blessing Yah and thanking him. That's extra wicked. He said if a man walk around adding drunkenness to thirst and say I walk in the imagination of my own heart, your name gonna be blotted out from heaven. See, people don't like to talk about stuff like that because people don't know Yah. They just want to talk about goodness and no severity, or severity and no goodness. You got to do both. They go hand in hand. Go ahead.
Revelations 2
and 21.
It said, and I gave her space to repent.
Make it 20 then.
Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou suffered that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and seduce my servants to commit fornication, and to eat things sacrificed unto idols.
Yep.
And I gave her space to repent of her fornication, and she repented not. Behold, I will cast her into a bed, and them that commit adultery with her into great tribulation, except they repent of her deeds.
Yep.
And I will kill her children with death.
He'll do what with her children?
I will kill her children with death.
He gonna kill them.
And all the assembly shall know that I am he, which searches the reins of the heart.
He does what?
Searches the reins of the heart.
He does what?
Searches the reins in the heart.
And what else he do after that?
And I will give unto every one of you according to your work.
So he gonna reward you according to what you do. What is the work of Elohim, everybody? It's the work. Let's get that. John 6 and 26.
It says, Yahusha answered and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, seek me, not because ye saw the miracles, but because ye did eat of the loaves and were filled. Labor not for the meat which perishes, but that meat which endures unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For ye have Elohim the Father sealed. Then said they unto him, What shall we do that we might do the work the works of Elohim?
What did he say the works of Elohim was, sir?
Yahushua answered and said, This is the work of Elohim, that you believe on whom he hath sent.
The work of Elohim is to believe that your faith and hope might be in Elohim. See, let me show you another thing. 1 Corinthians chapter 2. Pick me up at verse 5. Make it 3.
It says, For I determined not to know anything among you, save Yahusha HaMashiach and his crucifixion.
He said, what's the only thing he wanted to know? Yahusha crucified. Which is, that's the work of Elohim, which is faith. That's the only thing he said he wanted to know. And remember, what does Torah spell out to? You know the characters of Torah off the top of your head, Stanley? You got the Tau. You got the U and the Rosh. And what else you got? And what does that tell us?
Mark or the covenant, verse 8.
And basically, behold the man who was impaled. So if you know Torah, then you wouldn't want to know nothing but Yahusha crucified.
That if you look at it in the pictograph, it look like that.
So like the actual characters,
like
a man on the stake.
Getting consumed with the teeth.
They really do too. You know what I mean? He lying because I just got the picture in my head when he said it really do too. You know what I'm saying? So think about that. Think about that. And that's why he say if this is the token, this is the covenant, that the blood be on your houses. You know what I'm saying? Behold the man who is impaled or crucified or destroyed. Do you know what I'm saying? That's literally what it means. Behold the man who has been killed.
And it makes Psalm 47.
It make that Isaiah 38 that we looked at last night. By these things do men live. You live by the death of another man. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why I keep telling y'all.
Why Hebrew niggas miss that?
Because they extra retarded.
If that's what it parse out to me.
We also remember some people don't believe in looking at it that way. But then you also have to look at it in this aspect too. People miss that because they don't really believe it. They don't want to follow it. Do you know what I'm saying? Nigga just show up, man. I keep telling y'all repeatedly, your life don't belong to you. Nobody in Shamaheen cares nothing about what any one of us want to do. That means absolutely nothing to him. What you want to do should be in accordance to his will. I've asked people plenty of times, what if it was something that you wanted to do and it conflicted with Yah's will? Would you continue to do it, or would you force it to happen and say it was Yah's will so you could fulfill your own desire? And you're going to hell. Because that's desperately wicked. You know what I'm saying? If what you want to do conflicts with Yah's will, then you should be able to do what Mashiach did and sacrifice it. Mashiach wanted to live. He said, let this cup pass. He said, but nevertheless, not my will be done, but thy will be done. So if I got to die, then so be it. As long as your will is accomplished and esteem is brought to your name, because it's not about me. And that's why niggas' service to Yah is not where it's at, because you think it's about you. Not because you're an Israelite, because you think he's here to serve your every whim and desire. You know what I'm saying? That's why I gave y'all them examples last night. I mentioned it again. He said everything works out to the good of those who are called according to his purpose, according to his will. So that's why he lines certain people up to be with certain people to get his will accomplished. A nigga will walk away from somebody who they know Yah sent for something they want. Do you know what I'm saying? Or somebody they want. They don't care if it's not according to his will, because their desire is accomplished. That's wicked. It's wicked because you have an evil heart of unbelief. You know what I'm saying? That's why they turned away from Mashiach. He ain't what we were looking for. We don't want him. We don't want him. We don't like that guy. He's ugly.
What good thing comes out of Nazareth?
Straight up. What good thing come out of Nazareth? If he be the son of Elohim, come down from off that tree right now. If you be the son of God, then do this and do that. Because they expected something different than what it was. He wasn't what they wanted. You know, y'all hear that just to use that just for the lack of better, because I don't have a better example that's coming in my brain right now. That's why you always see niggas post memes about women putting good dudes in friend zones all the time and messing with lower class men. Because that dude over there is not what they wanted. I wanted this nigga, and I'm going to try to make this nigga be like this dude over here. So we try to make y'all be like these false gods over here. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just getting the good thing that was right there in front of your face. That's just a lack of maturity for an individual to realize this accentuates me and it's better for me than this over here. You know what I'm saying? So you take at it as Elohim's will is better for me than my own will. It may not look as glitzy and nice as I would want it to look, but it will at the end. See, we only look at the front leg. And then the back leg of what we wanted is actually horrible, and it crashes and destroys. Then we look at the front leg of what y'all got, and it don't look as glitzy and glamorous, but it is at the back end.
That made me think of, what was the captain of the army of Syria, Naaman?
Yeah. He said he didn't want to get in that water. He said it's better rivers than the Jordan. He said, nigga, you want to be clean or what?
Yeah, because he thought Elisha was going to come and do something.
Yeah, he thought something magical was going to happen, and this, that, and the third, and he just told him, nah, cuz, get in there and take a bath. Just get in there 7 times. Get in there 7 times. Nigga, do you want to be clean or what? Yeah, then get your butt in that water. And when he got in, he was like, oh, man, I'll give you whatever you want, baby. I got you. Because he looked at it as, this river ain't as beautiful as rivers in Syria. Where's all the matting? No, it's just that simple. The beauty of Yah is very, very simple. And it's
where he see beauty, we might
not going to see beauty.
The base thing.
Yeah, he take the base things and make them great, or the things or people that you come, because we don't know Yah, so we can't identify it. If you can identify Yah somebody, that's probably the most beautiful person you'd ever come across. Because he said he the beauty of Kadesh, so if he's present, that's the most beautiful thing you can come across.
That is nice.
But guess what we like? We like the beauty of carnality, the beauty of the world, and then try to make it Kadesh. That's the dumbest thing in the world is a woman who say I believe in Yah and go get a sinner and try to convert him. Do you know what I'm saying? I love him though. He gonna serve Yah because he love me. I bet he is. He gonna serve that butt. That's all he after.
But that's what niggas do. Niggas try to find beauty and unrighteousness.
Try to find beauty and unrighteousness.
It looks so good, though.
So good. It's appealing to the eye. That's why he say love not the world. Because the love of the world is the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, and the love of the world is not of the Father, but of the world. And those that have the love of the world, the love of Elohim is not in them. Period. Because if you love the world, then if the love of Elohim is in you, you either got Ahab, which is you can see the head of the house, or you got Kashah. This man done destroyed what was he done separated you from what was destroying you and put it behind you. So then you're not going to see nothing sinful, nothing wicked. You're just going to see the beauty of Kadesh and go after that. Anything else than that is uncivilized. You know what I'm saying? I done told you this before, and I mean that with every ounce of my soul. I would rather put a bullet in my brain than date and marry a sinner. Straight up and down, like, because that's what I might as well do. You know what I'm saying? I might as well play Russian roulette with a tech. Because that's what I'm doing. I don't care how pretty she is. I don't care how she is. That's not desirable to me. And I do not have the time, effort, or energy to try to convert you to make you my wife. You know how selfish that is? You more concerned with getting a mate than saving a soul. I'm going to get her right, bro. Make her my old lady. No, I'm going to just get you right. You be somebody else old lady. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not finna do that. The book tell you, cursed be he that do the work of you who are deceitfully. Don't try to use the word to try to clean that woman up because she was wicked, because you found her appealing to your eyes. That means you looked and seen she was wicked and completely contrary to your God, and you didn't care because she looked good. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? Not if you say, I guarantee you, Yahusha ain't doing none of that. He ain't sit back and say, you know what? I'm going to marry that Syrian over there. No, now. Them Samaritans looking good too. I know they wicked. It doesn't matter. That wicked woman going to destroy you. That wicked man going to destroy you. And the book tells you that repeatedly about men not messing with wicked women and what happened to you. They will destroy you. Evil communications corrupt good manners. That is not a recommendation. That is the truth. Spend enough time with sinners and you will become one. They're not going to convert you. I mean, you're not going to convert them. They're going to convert you. Because if you standing on the word right, they're not going to want to be around you. You know what I'm saying? Not on a consistent basis. And you ain't got to see. She was telling me the other day, when she was working, the little time she was at Bank of America, that a woman told her, my sister a Hebrew. Now, she got offended by the statement because she didn't really understand what the lady was saying. She said, you not like her. Because she said all her sister do is tell her about the word constantly and consistently. People don't want to hear that. Why you eating that bacon? You know that's an abomination. Guess what that nigga gonna do? Put 3 more pieces of bacon on his plate. You know what I'm saying? Why you eating them pork chops? And he gonna put extra hot sauce on the next one he gonna put on his plate. Nigga don't want to hear that. But if you actually live it and stand for it, and people know you got a standard, they are less inclined to be in your presence because it convicts them in their heart when they're around you. You ain't got to utter a word. You ain't got to tell them what you believe. You ain't got to tell them what you about because they already know it. You know what I'm saying? So then them phone calls get less and less. Them invitations get less and less because them niggas don't want to be around you. The book tell you that if men separate you from your company for my name's sake, you blessed. Niggas don't want people to separate them from their company because we want the company of wicked people because we think I can get them right. I can't get nobody right that don't want to be right. And I'm not finna go over and exert myself to try to get you right. And I'm definitely not finna snag no woman out the street and try to get her right. Because that is selfish. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about if you preaching the word. Now, that's very, very selfish. You know what I'm saying? Because it's more about you than it is about her. You're not doing that for her. You're doing that for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you think a nigga can't peep that. No, we already had that conversation before. That's selfish, bro. That'd just be like a woman walking here. This her first time coming. I'm going to holler at her. That woman don't even know no book. So now her focus should be on Yah, but now you're trying to put her focus on you. So now her soul can't even get saved because she more focused about you. That's not right. That's unrighteous. You can't tell me that's a righteous way to move. That's selfish motivation. If you are serving the Elohim, you have selfless motivation. So you're not going to be motivated by how you can benefit from the situation. You know what I'm saying? Niggas be in the word and be looking at how they can benefit from the situation. That is very, very wicked. Continue on, sir.
Where? Corinthians, right?
Yeah. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 3.
It said, and I was with you in your weakness and in fear, and in much trembling. And my speech and my preaching was not with the enticing words of man's wisdom.
But what?
But in the demonstration of the Ruach in power.
Pause. Anybody know, Stanley, you know the characters for Ruach, Stanley?
You got the Raj.
What else you got?
The U.
The U, and what else you got?
Is it the olive and the chick chick?
No, you just got 3. You got the Raj, you got the last one, you just got the Kot.
The pot.
So if you got the Raj, we got the head, and when we got the U, we got the nail again, and then you got the Kot, which is separation. So when we look at Ruach, what are we actually understanding? That the head, by his impaling or his death, has separated you.
What a sacrifice.
You know what I'm saying? And what did what did he just say? I don't save to know anything but what? Yahusha crucified. When we go back and we look at Exodus, where we coming from in 12 and 13, what was that blood came from? Where did that blood come from that they were sacrificing? So the key thing was the lamb, right? And it was, what type of lamb was it? So it would be a head lamb. It would be a firstborn lamb. So we see the first thing where the Ruach come in at. Paul, get me Galatians 5 and 1. Galatians 5 and 1. Now you're going to see why this statement in Galatians makes sense. And also by actually going through this language. That's not what I wanted. Galatians 5 and 1 is what I want. Where is it at? Is it Ephesians? I know what it is. The words. I need to find the spot. 3 and 1. Galatians 3 and 1. Now you can see how when we go through these words and we can slide through certain stuff in the epistle letters, why the man said what he said. Because the reason why we know that they did this here, at least in my personal opinion, because we don't have no did anybody know what they said to Mashiach in John chapter 7? Probably about verse 13 or 14.
What they said to him?
They said, how does this man write letters with no one teaching him? Do you know what I'm saying? So you think that this man ain't know that olive meant head and Kot meant separate? You don't think he could have taught his apostles this? Because they asked him, how do you even know this? Nobody taught you this. Go ahead.
O foolish Galatians, who have bewitched you that ye should not obey the truth?
Who have done what? So if it say obey the truth, what they saying bewitching you to obey not what? The faith. Who is trying to bewitch you to cause you to stop believing? Go ahead.
Before whose eyes Yahusha HaMashiach have been evidently set forth, crucified among you.
Hold on, his eyes, he was evidently what?
Set forth.
So that means you would have loved him, which means you would have behold the head of the house, right? And then what's the next thing he said? That he was evidently what?
Set forth.
And what else?
Crucified.
Crucified.
This only what I learned of you, receive ye by the Ruach, by the works of the law.
Or by what?
Hearing of faith.
Did you receive the Ruach by the works of the law or by the hearing of faith? Does not the word Ruach spell out that has to be a hearing of faith? Ain't no way around that. Come on back to 1 Corinthians chapter 2. Because I got another point. I mentioned it to you last night. I'm just going to reiterate it. Because there are 2 Ruach HaKodeshes, if you understand what I'm saying. Y'all should know that. It's 2 of them. Everybody got one. Everybody ain't got the other. No, it would. I mean, it's still a set apart breath because it comes from Yah, but it's not the set apart breath. Only reason why I say that because we can actually see that in.
It's not a continuum.
Like what animals got?
No, it's just one made you a living soul and one makes you a quickening Ruach.
I'm saying what makes it set apart? What is this?
Because it comes from Yah.
Oh.
That's it. I mean, either way it goes, it's a Ruach HaKodesh because it's from him. But it's 2 different ones. One that everybody possesses and one that only the chosen possess. And the one that the chosen possess can only be received by faith. See, you didn't have to do anything to get the Ruach HaKodesh that's in you right now. You ain't had to do none of that. You had to do nothing. All your mom and daddy had to do was get freaky, and 9 months later, here you came. You know what I'm saying? That was it. Ain't nothing you did to get that breath in your lung, did I? I ain't did nothing to get it. I also show you how you ain't got to do nothing to get the breath of Elohim in your lungs the second time. I didn't choose to be here. Go ahead, man.
Oh, we're at verse
5.
Yeah, it says that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but the power of Elohim.
Sure should.
Howbeit we speak wisdom among them that are perfect. Yet not the wisdom of this world, nor of the princes of this world that come to naught.
That's good, right? He said that your faith should be in what? In Elohim and not men. That's what people problem be at, is their faith be in men and not in Elohim. That nigga hit that nigga with a Mortal Kombat. Come on, man.
Get out.
I will not. Come on, but wasn't it though? So we notice, right, is that how Isaac inspects Jacob. He gonna inspect you. Let's see how. Romans 8:8. And then we got to move to the next point because I'm getting short on time.
Oh no. It says, so then they that are in the flesh cannot please Elohim.
Them that are in the what?
Flesh cannot please Elohim.
Why?
But ye are not in the flesh.
You are not in the what?
The flesh.
Why?
But in the Ruach.
Why?
If so be that the Ruach of Elohim dwell in you.
Pause. Now, if the Ruach of Elohim dwell in you, that's the Ruach. Stanley, do you know the characters for Kadosh? Can you give us those, Stanley?
Who?
Correct, sir.
The dollar.
Correct, sir.
Yeah. And the shin.
My nigga. So what that tell us?
You good at parsing that.
Well,
of course you got, you know, the sun on the horizon.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you got sun, horizon, or behind, the door.
At the first head.
You know, you said Kuf. We got Kuf, Daleth, and the Shin.
The door and
the Shin is going to be destruction.
Yep.
So the Ruach HaKodesh altogether is telling us what? The head is sacrifice. You separated by the sacrifice of the head. You know what I'm saying? Then Kadosh is telling you how the door, the destruction to get in the door is behind you, or things of that nature. Or basically something's behind you, the door, and destruction. So what would be destroyed for you to even be able to get in the door? We already can see that from Exodus 12 and 13. What does Pharaoh represent? He said he was you were in the house of the bondmen. So you were captive in bondage to what? Sin. So when you see the Ruach HaKodesh, to receive the Ruach HaKodesh, two things got to happen. You got to believe, and you have to destroy the body of sin.
The sacrifice, that's the narrow that's in the Ruach. And then you got what's behind you is sin, because that's what makes Kadosh. You separate yourself from sin.
From sin.
So that's what's behind you, sin. And that's going to get you in the door.
That's what's going to get you in the door.
You leaving that outside.
It's outside.
No looking back.
No looking back. Because what does the law tell you about bringing uncleanliness in the temple? Don't bring it. When you look at the inner sanctum, what it tell you about the inner sanctum? Nothing that could defile it could come into it. Which turns around to what he said in Psalms 101. No liars or nothing unclean will come into my house. Nothing that defiles or work of abomination will come into my house. So the reason why we point this out, in order to receive the Ruach HaKodesh, you have to have faith and to destroy the body of sin, and you can enter in through the door. If you do not do that, then that is not tangible nor possible. Oh dang, DC, that's going to kind of mess you up there. Come on back to let's go to Matthew chapter 26. Because we know when he said that inspection is to find the covenant. Oh, we got to finish Romans 8. I'm sorry. I still got 45 minutes. I'm not going to use all 45 minutes, but I got 45 minutes. Yeah, we still in Romans 8. I think we're in verse 9. Because when Yahuwah inspects you, he gonna be looking for that ruach. Because we already read, he said he gonna try the reins in the heart, so he looking for that ruach. That's what he looking for. I ain't the joint getting a headache. Romans 8 and 9.
It said, but ye are not in the flesh, but in the ruach. If so be that the ruach of Elohim dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the ruach of HaMashiach, he is none of his.
So if you don't have the ruach of HaMashiach, you don't belong to him. So why wouldn't you belong to him? Because you didn't believe and you didn't destroy the body of sin. So that's why you ain't got it. That's what's going to stop you. If we look at what these characters mean and what because this is what he say he looking for. So why did the people in Egypt get destroyed? Because they didn't have the blood on the household. All right, he didn't have blood on their household because they didn't believe and they didn't destroy the body of sin. So guess what y'all decided he had to do? I gotta kill you. I gotta kill you. Go ahead.
Okay, we at 10. It says, and if the Mashiach being you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Ruach is life because of righteousness.
So you see how that goes back to the cot that we talked about last night? How he separates you from the snake? Or even how the Ruach is dealing with the sacrifice of the head? Because if he be in you, then guess what you've done? You sacrificed yourself just like he did. Your body was destroyed just like his body was destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Death get put behind you just like he put it behind him. Now you can wonder why he looked at Peter and told Peter what? Get behind me, Satan. You know what I'm saying? He basically told him, Kuf, get behind me. Because if you behind, because he said, I'm going to cast sin behind my back. Because if it's behind you, it's over with, because you're not going to do what Lot's wife did, which was what? Look back. See, we come to the word and we be looking back. What about my friends? What about my family? What about them? You got to keep them in the place where you kept them at. Because we don't ever really consider the goodness of Elohim, the goodness of Elohim that he chose to set you apart from other people. Do you know what I'm saying? Some of you been outcast in your family your whole life. You know what I'm saying? Some of you were outcast amongst your peer group, either by choice or by necessity, that it just happened that way. Because we don't even really look at how joyous of a thing it is for him to set you apart from other people, because we long to be a part of the group. Of a group that you don't even need to be a part of. Come on to Matthew chapter 26, man. Pick me up at 25. Let's finish it on out, man.
Then Yahudah, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, Thou hast said.
You said.
And as they were eating, Yahusha took bread and broke it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, Take ye, this is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye all of it. For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is said.
So this is the doorway to life. His blood is the doorway to life. That's why he said, Get me Romans 3 and 21. I'm going to say, but look, Mike, you too big to be crying like that.
It reads, but now the righteousness of Elohim, without the law is manifested, being witnessed by the Torah and the prophets.
Who said the righteousness of Elohim is witnessed by what?
By the Torah and the prophets.
So it's witnessed by you seeing this man who's crucified. Now, what's the word for prophet, Stanley? It does, don't it? Nabi. You know what characters they would be for that, Stanley? I would agree. Would you agree? So we got seed, house, and hand. So what would you get from that?
Prophet isn't working. Get you to the seed.
So you got the hand of Elohim.
Get you to the house.
So basically, all I want to tell you about the prophets are the seed of those who dwell in the house. Remember what the seed is? That's Zerah, and those are those who are been separated by the hand in the first place. Every prophet was separate. You know what I'm saying? And all their prophecies was to do what? To make you a seed that gets in the house. But in order for the, so a reason why I mentioned it, because these two things go hand in hand. Torah is for you to witness the sacrifice of the head. The prophets are the seed of the house, which was sent by the hand, to be honest. You know what I'm talking about? And both of them are telling you the same thing. They both bear witness to the righteousness of Elohim, which is faith, which is Yahusha crucified, the only thing I seek to know. Go ahead. You still read?
It said, even the righteousness of Elohim, which is by faith of Yahusha HaMashiach, unto all and upon them that believe, for there is no difference.
No difference.
For all have sinned and come short of the esteem of Elohim.
Every last one.
Being justified freely by his grace through redemption that is in Mashiach.
Justified freely by his what?
By the redemption that is Mashiach.
But it says justified freely by his grace.
By his grace, yes.
That separated seed again. Because Yahusha is the separated seed. So you're justified freely by the fact that he's separate. Go ahead.
It said being justified.
Because hold on, because you know in Hebrews 7 it said that HaMashiach was separate, undefiled, separate from sinners. Go ahead.
It says, whom Elohim set forth to be appropriation through faith in his blood.
He said the faith in his what?
His blood.
In his what?
Blood.
So faith in the doorway that leads to life. Ain't that something? That's wild right there. This is the next thing you say.
To declare righteousness for the remission of sins.
Declare righteousness for the remission of what?
Sins.
Remission of what?
Sins.
Go ahead.
That are past.
That are what?
Past.
Go ahead.
Through the forbearance of Elohim.
Now let's get Leviticus 17:11 in the law. Make it do what it do. Let's see what Leviticus say where the life of the flesh is. Because remember what we already read in Romans. You are not in the flesh, but in the what? So for those of us who are in the flesh, we need eternal life. So where are we going to be able to get it from? The blood, or the door that leads to life, or the door that leads to water. Go ahead, sir.
It says, for the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls.
What it say, atonement? Ain't that what we just read in Romans 3? So again, to get to this Ruach HaKodesh, you got to behold the head of the house being sacrificed. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to have that stuff destroyed and behind you so you can come in the door. John 6:53. Then I got to reference back another point.
It says, then Yahusha said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, except ye eat of the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, ye shall have no life.
You have no life in you.
Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood hath eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day.
Yeah.
For my flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drink indeed.
So his blood, if you drink it, is the doorway to life, because it says it's the door to the water, right? So let's look at something else. Isaiah 55:1. And after that, Ezekiel 47:1. And see, we're going to take this to show this is why Pharaoh and his household was destroyed. Because they didn't have the doorway which led to life.
Ho, everyone that thirsteth, cometh ye to the waters, and he that have no money, come ye.
Come to the what?
To the water.
And he that have no what?
No money.
So you ain't even got no way to buy this water. You ain't got no way to buy this blood.
Come ye, buy and eat.
It was given to you for free.
Yea, come buy wine and milk without money and without price.
You ain't got to put down a coin. Go ahead.
Therefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me.
Listen.
Ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness.
Go ahead.
Incline your ears and come unto me.
Listen. And he said, come unto what?
Unto me.
He said, but you won't come unto that you might have life. Go ahead. Hear,
and your soul shall live.
Your soul shall what?
Live.
Your soul shall what?
Live.
Now let's look at Genesis 2:7. I got to crank like 3 points in because we're getting toward the end.
It says, and the Yahuwah formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
He said your soul will live, right? So he was alive, right? This here, right?
And the man became a living soul.
But let's look at Ecclesiastes 12:1 though. Little Henry. Don't you what me, boy? Nothing. Go sit down, Henry. I don't know what that means. Somebody at the door. Oh, he unlocked it. Ecclesiastes 12:1. Go over there with your yama.
It says, remember now the Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them.
No. Don't you even do it. Go sit down.
Go sit down. Go sit down, Mara. It says, remember now the Creator in the days of thy youth, while
I think it might be verse 7. We got to get to the point. Yeah, verse 7. We got to get to the point.
It says,
12:7. Ecclesiastes 12:7.
It said, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the ruach shall return unto Elohim who gave it. Vanity.
Pause. You see how you say that breath go back? We just read he took man from the dust of the earth. That breath go back. See, the part with the Ruach HaKodesh, I'm really setting the stage. But I will probably do it Wednesday, or I can hold it till whenever. It'll be next week though. The main key point that I was gonna do with it today, which I don't know why I felt like I could jam all of this stuff in one time, but he take that breath back. That you don't keep that. You don't keep that. That's why it's the Ruach HaKodesh.
He need that back.
Cause he need that back.
He don't give him that ain't so part anyway.
Straight up and down. He need that back. Cause guess what? Sinners got that.
He need that back.
I need that back, cuz. But that Ruach HaKodesh that's given, John 20.
They both are free gifts.
They both are free. That's what I'm telling you. They both are free gift. One is just eternal, and one is temporary. They both are free gift. That's why I said that. What did anybody in here do to get the breath in your lungs right now? Only thing happened is your parents got freaky.
But the second one, it ain't free.
And guess what, though? Guess what? But listen to me. The first one, you don't need faith to get it. You just need sexual intercourse between a man and a woman. That's all you need. They ain't got to be righteous. They ain't got to be wicked. You know what I'm saying? You don't ain't nothing Kadesh got to go down for you to get it. Because guess what? The majority of people in this room were born on an unclean bed. But you got the Ruach in you. You take a deep breath right now. Boy, I'm talking about anybody who ever been in a situation where they felt like their breath was getting short. You got extra nervous. Because you thought you were finna die. You see how people get when that lab the niggas' eyes go to let me die. Nigga, no, you finna leave.
He need that back, homie.
He need that back. Shoot, nigga, you a renter. You lease that.
And then you gotta pay what you owe after the fact.
Then you gotta pay what you owe after that. But if he give you that Ruach HaKodesh, you had already paid because you paid by laying your own life down like his son did. And he ain't taking that back. That's why he say if the Ruach of Mashiach be in you, because it's still there, he didn't take it back. See, nigga missed that. He don't take the Ruach HaKodesh back. That's hanging out with you for a while. Forever. That's why, now you see why it's important for you to get it. I've been telling this because my homegirl, she told me, she said, everybody got the spirit. I said, nah, baby, everybody ain't got the spirit. Everybody ain't got that. Everybody ain't got that. John 20:20. Everybody ain't got that. You got a lot of Hebrew niggas like to say, I got the spirit, lying bastard Jew. Only because the reason why we say that is why they lying is the faith is not present. The faith is not present. Because remember, if the Ruach in you, what does the Ruach say it would do? It would bear witness to Mashiach. So how all these niggas say they got the spirit, ain't nobody bearing witness to him. And I've been showing y'all that. That's what you're supposed to be. If you got it, that don't mean you got to be the most skillfulest person in the world. That don't mean you got to be a preacher. But you should at least be able to tell me about him.
I should be able to see him in your life. Your life, how you live.
How you living, and you should definitely be able to see him. It should never be an instance where somebody say, this is Mashiach, and they show it to you plainly. That ain't him. But you got the spirit, though? Shoot. I got some rocks in my pocket, man. I got you, too. How many you want? You want 40? Because clearly you high. You got 8 spirit in you. I don't know whose. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, man.
It says, and when he has so said, he showed unto them his hands and his side. Then were the disciples glad when they saw the master.
They were glad.
Then said Yahusha to them again, Shalom be unto you, as my Father has sent me, even so I send you.
Actually, back that up. We need it. You in 20 and 20.
What you asked for?
Oh yeah, go ahead. My bad. No, it just read wrong.
It said, and when he had said this, he breathed on them.
He what on them?
He breathed on them.
And told them to receive what?
The Ruach HaKodesh.
And listen what next thing he said.
Whosoever sins
you what?
Commit,
what else?
They are remitted unto you. And whosoever sins ye retain, they are retained.
So where the Ruach is present, guess what's gone? Body of sin is destroyed. Sin is destroyed and it's behind you now. That's why, don't you realize how the book always talk about looking ahead and not behind? See, we like to look behind. Leave that junk away. And he destroyed it for a reason. What did he do to Mizraim, right? He destroyed it. And what did Yahusha, son of Nun, tell them? Everything that was in Egypt on the other side of the flood, leave it over there, because he destroyed it already. Hebrews 8 and 8.
It says, for finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, said Youll, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Yasharah and with the house of Yehuda, not according to the covenant I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Mizraim. Because they continue not my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahuwah. For this is the covenant that I will make with them, the house of Yasharah. After those days, said Yahuwah, I will put my law into their minds and write them in their hearts, and I will be unto them Elohim, and they shall be to me a people.
And what else?
And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahuwah, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and iniquities I will remember no more.
He gonna put it behind him. He gonna put it behind him. It's just, remember he said, I cast all your sins behind my back. So therefore the head has separated you from the snake. Because if the soul that sinned, it shall what? It'll die. So he has to separate you from death. What's the only way to do that but to destroy sin and to destroy the body of sin? This is why in Galatians he say that, what did he say? That those who are Mashiachs have crucified themselves with their affections and lusts. They have put those things to death. So you have to sacrifice yourself. In order to receive the Ruach HaKodesh, you have to do the same thing Mashiach did. He believed and sacrificed himself, so you have to believe in him and sacrifice yourself. You understand? And then his body of sin was destroyed, meaning his body, because this flesh is carnal and evil, and then that was placed behind him. But see, we don't like it. It is what it is, man. Give me 1 John 5 and 6, man. Make it 5 and 4. Well, 5 and 3 ain't never hurt nobody.
It says, for this is the love of Elohim, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. For whatsoever is born of Elohim overcometh the world, and this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith.
And what is that?
Who is he that overcometh the world, but he that believeth that Yahusha is the son of Elohim?
If you believe that, you'll sacrifice yourself even as he sacrificed himself. Go ahead.
This is he that came by water and blood.
He came by what?
Water and blood.
So he came through the doorway of life just like we did. Go ahead.
Even Yahusha HaMashiach, not by water only, but by water and blood. And it is the Ruach that beareth witness, because the Ruach is true.
The Ruach is what?
It's true.
So that means, what was Ruach again? It was the Rosh, the U, and what?
No, the cat.
The cot. So right, the head, you separated by the sacrifice of the head. Then he said the Ruach, so it's faith. Because the Ruach was bearing witness. Remember he said the Ruach bear witness. It's two that bear witness of me. That's what he said. My witness is in heaven and my record is on high. The Ruach HaKodesh bear witness of the sacrifice that this man was going to do, that you might believe, that your soul might be saved. So the belief in the Ruach is of faith. You see what I'm saying? It's of faith. Without it, there's no salvation. There is no salvation. It's not going to happen. Now I'm going to ask y'all a question. I know everybody knows the answer to it. I'll end with it. Come on to Ezekiel 47:1. I'll end with it. Now remember, right, the door, as a matter of fact, yeah, the door, Dom is the Daleth and the Meme, or the door that leads to life, or the door that leads to water, correct? So let's look at that. Ezekiel 47:1.
47:1. It said, afterwards he brought me again to the door of the house.
He brought you again to where?
The door of the house.
And what happened at that door?
And behold, waters.
Hold on, and he said, and what?
Waters issue.
No, he said, behold.
Oh, behold, waters.
So the right, he telling you to see. Come on.
That's hate.
Hey, my bad.
It said, waters issue from out under the house, under the threshold of the house, eastward.
Waters issued out. How did waters issue out of the house of Yahusha? How did the waters issue out? And they hit him in his side. Because remember, he said he's the house. He gets hit. Waters issue out. And guess what that hole in his side would be? It would be a door. And it would be the door which leads to water, because blood and water came out of him when that happened. So he was showing you he was the door to life when that happened to him. And all you had to do was do what? What he even told his apostles to do. Stick your hand in there.
That's what I got when I sent you blood and water first.
Yeah. Yeah, walk in the door. Come on in here and get on in here. Yeah, I can understand that. That's the other stuff that y'all said that I was referring to, wasn't referring to specifically. None of them were incorrect. You know what I'm saying? They all, but you can notice that even if I was thinking about something else and you was thinking, but they still all went together and told the same story. They're still telling the same story. That life comes from this. What did this man tell you? I got a door that no man can what? Shut. And once I shut it, can't nobody open it. Go ahead. And stole, that's you done stole the blanket? Gotcha. For real? I'ma holler at you later. What you mean? I'ma holler at you later. He would look like nigga, you would talk to me right now. I'ma holler at you later. Your mama gonna get you. He's telling me something important. I don't know what he's telling me, but I know it's important.
It said, afterwards he brought me again to the door of the house, and behold, waters issue out from under the threshold of the house eastward. For the forefront of the house stood towards the east, and the waters came down from under, from the right side of the house.
That's good. Give me Joel 3:18. Girl, ain't nothing wrong with you.
It said, for behold, in those days, in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Yehuda and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Yehoshaphat.
That's 3:18.
That's 3:1.
Yeah, clearly.
It said, 18, it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Yehuda shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of Yahuwah.
A fountain will come where?
Come forth.
Now I'm going to ask y'all a question. Let's just sit right here, right? He said that he opened the fountain in Zechariah 13 for sin and uncleanness, correct? So how is he going to do this again? Because he said he opened the fountain again right here, right? Now I'm going to ask y'all a question. When Mashiach come in and come back, what state the world going to be in?
Under rulership, under the beast.
Not just that, it's going to be caught up in sin and uncleanness. So then he's going to have to pour water out to do what? To cleanse the world of sin and uncleanliness, correct? But he said he wouldn't do it by water the second time. That's how he said he's going to do it the next time. So I got to get rid of y'all. What did Peter tell you? Judgment must start at the house of Elohim first. So that water coming out of the house is really signifying raising people from the dead. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the dead in Mashiach shall rise first. The water's got to issue out from under the house of Elohim, right? When he come back, are you going to be under him or above him? You're going to be under him because he coming back in a what? In a cloud. Then he going to resurrect you from the dead and you're going to meet him where? It's just like that, plain as day. It's clear as day. And guess what? They got the Ruach in them, so he was already present. They had the second breath in them, so they were never dead. This is why he said, those who live and believe in me shall never taste death. Believe thou this? Because death is not in them. They're not dead. They're alive because the Ruach of Elohim exists in them. They're not dead. They just sleep for a season. But if you ain't got the ruach in you, you dead. Pretty much everybody that we know that who's ever died is dead. For good. For good, for good. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much we love them or nothing. You know what I'm saying? That has you have to be able to separate your emotions from that. How much we love somebody has nothing to do with the judgment of Elohim. Absolutely. And you got to be real enough and just enough and have enough faith in the Elohim to be able to state that somebody you love is going to hell based off what this book say and not your personal opinion or feelings. Of course everybody want to say, like I told y'all, nigga died and ain't had that ruach. I don't want to meet you again, cuz. I promise I don't. I promise I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Because if I meet you again, I'm in the lake where the worm dies not and the fire shall not be quenched. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be there with you. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality of life. If we say we believe in Elohim. Same way niggas you get back, I know he hear me. He say he don't hear sinners' prayers. I know he hear me. I'm a sinner. Well then, so he gonna go against the word for you. He said he didn't hear. I didn't say he didn't hear sinners. He said he don't hear. This man say if you even regard lawlessness in your heart, he will not hear you. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you think sinning is cool, this is an example. Because I heard a dude messing with a dude who a preacher. He said he run with a nigga who champion gay rights. Ain't no way in the world y'all hear your voice. Ain't no way in the world. Because you stamping sin. You regard that in your heart. He don't hear you. I don't care how much you love him. I don't care how much you like him. See, I done got a lot of people mad. You gonna tell me God don't hear me. I ain't told you nothing. He did. You take that up with him. That ain't got nothing to do with me. It made sense to me when I read it because I thought about myself as a child. When I didn't do what my mother asked me to do, and I asked her to do something, she declined that request. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me to know that I had been sinning, and I didn't really pray anyway, so it didn't really make no difference to me, so I wasn't offended in the least bit. So niggas who probably prayed all the time, they were offended because I got what I wanted. I know he heard me. Just like a nigga. You get what you want, you swear he heard you. You know what I'm talking about? Don't get what you want, he ain't real. He ain't answer my prayer. You know what I'm saying? But for real though, that's how I looked at it when I first read it. I looked at it as a framework as a child, a parent to a child. Why would I reward you for disobedient behavior? I am reinforcing to you that it's acceptable for you to behave in this fashion, and I will reward you for it. Who raises kids like that? White people. That's who does that.
I know plenty of niggas I can name already.
Oh, I know that's new generation stuff. But guess where that come? But guess where that come in from? The permeation of European culture on this how you should raise your children. Because I watched this switching. You never heard white people talk about don't beat your kids in the 80s. No white folk were beating their kids just like black people were. It wasn't nothing to see no white woman beat their child in the middle of Pickens Hay. Knock him clean up. You know what I'm saying? But when Dr. Spock and a whole bunch of other white people talking about that's barbaric and brutish and this affects the child like this and it makes them violent and it makes them this, it permeated culture more and more and more and it shifted it to the point that everybody does it.
That was the goal.
That was the goal. Plus on top of, even if that didn't happen, a lot of niggas didn't like when they were chastised. I'll never do my kids that way. Because you a disobedient douche, that's why. You didn't like it when your people bust you upside your head, so I ain't gonna bust. Because guess what that leads to? You can't discipline. The children are entitled and have no direction or no sense of accountability. So then they get grown, and guess how they feel like everyone should cater to them. Don't tell me. That's why niggas get so butthurt when you tell them they wrong. This nigga hating on me, bro. But it's hurt. Like you beat him. Like you put that Hot Wheels track to him, or you put that belt to him. Do you know what I'm saying? So you know you're not going to take the chastisement of y'all. Come on, man. Where I got you at?
So that was the last thing.
Yeah, that was the last thing. Yeah, you're right. Shoot. Come on to Revelation 22 and 1. I already had it. I ain't done though. Oh. That's what you thought. You've been had. You've been had. Revelation 22 and 1. Yes, sir.
And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of Elohim and the Lamb.
And what happened?
In the midst of the street of it, on either side of the river was there the tree of life.
And what else?
Which bare 12 manner of fruit.
12 manner of fruit.
And yielded her fruit every month.
Yielded her fruit every month.
And the leaves of the trees were for the healing of the nation.
Healing.
And there shall be no more curse.
No more what?
Curse.
No more death.
But the throne of Elohim and the Lamb shall be in it.
Yes, sir.
And his servants shall serve him.
Yes, sir.
And they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their forehead.
You know they said this is Isaiah 25. That death will flee away and death is swallowed up in victory. And they will say, this is Yahuwah Elohim. We have waited for him. You understand? Give me verse 17. Same chapter. Pick it up at 14. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. Matter of fact, just give him 11. Then we go back to Exodus 12.
It says, and he that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy.
Don't take a bath.
And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still.
And stay righteous.
And him that is Kadash, let him be Kadash still.
And if you Kadash, that means you done destroyed the body of sin, correct? And put it behind you. That's why you ain't filthy. Go ahead.
And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to his work shall be.
Yes, sir.
I am the Alpha and Omega, or the Aleph and the Tav.
So he's the head in the covenant, right? He's the head of the covenant, which we already read in Matthew 26, which we already seen in Genesis 27, when he inspected him. Because why would he? Because guess what? Jacob would be considered to be the head of the covenant because he is the first and the last in that instance. Because he was the last to be born, but he was the first to receive the blessing. So he the head of the covenant in this instance. And we don't even pay attention that Jacob the Aleph and the Tav, just like Yahusha is. Because is he not? Say the elder serve the younger, correct? The younger ended up becoming the first. And that's also the last shall be first and the first shall be last. Because guess what? Esau was first, but he ended up being last. Jacob was last, but he ended up being first. Yahusha was first, but he ended up being last. But then he ended up being last just so he could become first. Go ahead.
It said, Baruch are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter through the gates into the city.
Yes, sir.
For without are dogs and sorcerers, whoremongers and murderers and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
And the gate ain't nothing but a door. So if you don't keep his commandments, that means you didn't believe in the blood, which means you can't, because what is the tree of life? That's where you're going to get eternal life from, right? Can't get in. Can't get to it. Come on.
I, Yahusha, have sent my Malachim to testify unto you these things of the assemblies. I am the root and offspring of David and the bright and morning star.
Yes, sir. And
the Ruach and the bride say, come, and let him that heareth say, come, and let him that is athirst come, and whosoever will, let him take the water of life
freely. The water, and guess what John chapter 10, what did the Mashiach said he was? The door. And you got to walk through the door. This means you got to walk through and sacrifice. But come on back to Exodus 12 and 13, because it's one key point that we got to get on. Because we talk about a lot of destruction, right? And we're talking about destroying sin and the body of sin. So let's see what that blood was supposed to be for. (12 and 13).
And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you.
He'll pass over you.
And the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you.
Now drop down to about verse 29.
And it came to pass that at midnight Yahuwah smote all the firstborn of the land of Midian.
Well, make it 27.
It say that ye shall say it is the sacrifice of Yahuwah's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Yasharal and Mizraim, when he smote the Mizraites and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshipped. And the children of Yasharal went away and did as Yahuwah had commanded Moses and Aaron. So they did. So did they. And it came to pass that at midnight Yahuwah smote all the firstborn of the land of Mizraim, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on the throne, and to the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon.
Go ahead.
And the firstborn of all captives.
And what else?
And Pharaoh rose up in the night, and he and all his servants and the Mizraites, and there was a great cry in Mizraim, for there was not a house where there was not one.
Will there be a great cry when Yahusha come back here?
Yeah.
They're going to be screaming and hollering. So let me ask y'all a question. Were the Egyptians appointed to wrath, or were the children of Yasharal appointed to wrath?
The Egyptians.
And why were the children of Yasharal not appointed to wrath, if they just but believed?
Because that was the sacrifice to enter into.
That was the, remember, because we already talked about that. That was the sacrifice to confirm the covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because every covenant, there has to be the death of a testator, or it's of none effect. So I decided to destroy the Egyptians to enforce this covenant. You know what I'm saying? See, and again, this is all going back to what we read in Hebrews about redeeming you from the transgressions of the first. Because basically everything we look at in Exodus 33 is talking about the renewal of the covenant because they broke it. That's what we started from. And we're just zeroing in on certain verses in that and then springing out of that. You know what I'm saying? Because we're dealing with the law, but see, we just didn't deal it in the conventional sense, how most people think. Let's just read every verse and no, absolutely not. No. We may be on the law the whole so-called year 2018. Do you know what I'm saying? But we just like we did with the grace in verses like 14 to 17, and like we doing it, we just focusing on one thing. You see how much stuff can come out of one thing? Because what we looking at in 33 and 19 is what we mentioned in Romans 9. Some people were made for his destruction, and some were made for his esteem. He chose who he wanted to choose, and he was gracious to who he wanted to be gracious to, and nobody could change that. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 4. That's what we'll stop at. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 4. Make it 3. It's true. Just make it verse 1. They ain't gonna hurt nobody. That's 1 Thessalonians 5 and 1. But also, do y'all see how, hopefully from some of the stuff we've been looking at, do y'all see how some of these epistle letters make a lot more sense? Of what he was talking about and what he was actually trying to convey. That's why I told that brother, like, bro, you got to, and this, and not myself, because it's other individuals as myself throughout this whole earth. And that goes back to what we started with in Timothy. That's why you have to be skilled with it, or you're going to be lifted up in pride because you think you're nice, and the devil going to be able to condemn you. Go ahead.
The library will close in 30 minutes at 6 o'clock. Those needing a ride home, please call now. All meeting rooms will close in 15 minutes at 5:45 p.m.
Put that in the trash.
The library will close promptly at 6 p.m.
1 Thessalonians 5 and 1.
It says, but of the times and the seasons I write unto you, I need no need to write unto you, for yourself know perfectly that the day of Yahuwah cometh as a thief in the night.
A thief in the night.
But when they shall say shalom and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them.
Guess what? The Egyptians was like it was shalom and safety, wasn't it? We chilling, cared nothing about them Hebrews, care about what we doing to them. It's shalom and safety. What else?
Sudden travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But you, brethren, are not in darkness, that they should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all of the children of the light.
You children of the what?
Children of the light, and the children of the day.
You the children of Elohim. You the sons of Elohim. There's a separation between you and them. Go ahead.
We are not of the children of the night.
You ain't a sin. Guess what? Guess what? He showed you that when he made it be light on Yasharal and dark on them. Go ahead.
Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, and let us watch and be sober.
Don't you think that's funny? He told you not to sleep as others. Don't the book of Proverbs that tell you about a nigga who sleep all the time? Tell you ain't good for you to be in the house sleeping all the time. You sleeping on your salvation, nigga, slobbing and farting. Go ahead. So you break when you got flatulence.
For they that sleep in the night.
Yes, sir.
And they that are drunken in the night.
Remember what we talked about? Awake thou that sleepest, and Mashiach will do what? Give you light. Go ahead.
But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet the hope of salvation.
Yes, sir.
For Elohim has not appointed us to wrath.
He has not what?
Appointed us to wrath.
But he appointed us to what?
Obtain salvation by our master Yahusha HaMashiach.
And that's the same thing he did in Exodus chapter 12. He did not appoint them to wrath, but he appointed them to salvation by the blood of a lamb. You know what I'm saying? So he has not appointed you to wrath. All you had to do was believe and put the blood on the doorpost of your soul, so when he inspected it, he would find the Ruach, because you know this blood is telling you this is the door that leads to life, or the Ruach HaKadosh will be present. But hallelujah for Yahusha HaMashiach. We do have to get out of this.